Hello, everyone, and welcome to What's Your Genesis, my talk show. Today, I have with me a T-Rex who is a fellow Halo nerd, I cannot speak, who is a fellow Halo nerd like myself.
Yes.
Yes.
I love me some Halo.
Dude, Halo is one of the best, was one of the best franchises out there. Oh, Jesus Christ, Sorry, I was trying to put on some very quiet background music. I almost played some copyright music. Give me a sec. There we go. Now just some very quiet background music, so that way, once my editor, if this becomes a good video for him to edit, we'll have him edit it, and then the audio hopefully won't be broken because of me playing things wrong.
Oh, trust me, I do that all the time on my streams.
Plus, you might want to sit up a little bit in the couch again. You kind of slouched a bit, I think, again. There we go. That looks pretty good.
There we go. I could stand on the table and everyone could see my feet, my dino feet.
They could. That's up to you.
There we go. I'm giving chat dino feet for free.
They can almost see it. You still. There you go.
Yeah, look at that. I'm giving everyone free dino feet.
Free dino feet. But yes, how you doing, Ranma? Hope you're doing good.
Hello, Rama. Hello. He's from my chat.
Is he? I think I could have sworn I recognized the name. I could have sworn I recognized it from somewhere. Maybe they've been in my chat before.
They might have, but I know he's mainly from like my streams. Like he pops in from time to time.
It could be. I think they might have started watching my stuff after our collab on Halo. Maybe.
Maybe.
That was a fun time. But yeah, no. But before we get to talk about Halo, first thing I want to talk about, is you. Because this is a talk show. Before we do and talk about something else, let's talk about you. So first off, for those people who don't know you, why don't you give a little self-introduction and tell them a bit about yourself?
Well, it all started when I was 9 years old. I loved Shrek so much, I had all the merchandise. I prayed to Shrek every...
What the hell?
No, but like, hey, how's it going, everyone? I am Grarrl Brown. I'm the T-Rex King. I play everything from horror games to shooter games to just about anything I can think of. I also do model kit building streams. I mainly build Zoid kits, but I also do Gunpla. I'm also just about everything that's all nerdy. So if you like Kamen Rider, Tokusatsu, Zoids, Halo, you've come to the right dinosaur if that's something you want to gush over about, because I'm literally all about that kind of stuff.
Yes, the nerdy T-Rex.
Oh, I'm very nerdy.
Oh man, probably so nerdy to the point that if Master Chief somehow literally appeared in thin air, you'd probably worship the ground he walks.
I probably would.
If he actually existed. And he wasn't the fucking TV show version.
I try to forget that ever existed. The more I try to forget that existed, the more it doesn't exist.
That's very fair. And
it makes me mad that's getting a second season.
You're kidding, right? No.
I'm not kidding. It's getting a second season.
This is why 343 should not be in charge of Halo. Bungie would never let a show like that exist. That's shitty. But then again, maybe Microsoft forced. It could be not even 343's decision. It could be a Microsoft decision.
Honestly, so there were stills of maquettes that were coming out from way back in the day about like an actual Halo. I think it was like a Halo movie. And it didn't get very far because if you didn't like 343's take on it, you wouldn't like what Hollywood did to it.
Well, there's already a Halo movie. Isn't it Halo? Is it Nightfall or is it Until Dawn?
Oh no. So like way back in the day when like Halo was at its peak popularity, Hollywood proposed to Bungie about, hey, let's make a Halo movie, and there were concept art maquettes that were made, and maquettes are, because I'm also a bit of a nerd, movie buff. So a maquette is basically like a small like model, a model basically. It's like a bust almost.
Oh,
and it's kind of like, it kind of shows you what it's going to look like. So, again, it's like a 3D. It's like, the best way to describe it is like 3D concept art. And so what they showed, it was going to be on par with the Mario movie.
Oh, really?
Not the good one.
Oh, the bad one.
The bad one with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it didn't get very far.
You want to know what they should have made into a movie? It already exists on YouTube pretty much as a movie. It's like a animated. It's like animatic kind of. Have you ever heard of the story or watched the story? Halo: Midnight in the Heart of the Midlothian.
Yes, I have.
That the story is so good about ODSTs or Marines who go onto a ship that is floating abandoned out of power around the remains of the first Halo ring that was destroyed by Master Chief, and they're trying. It turns out that Oni was experimenting on the prisoners there using the Flood, and as you can expect, things didn't go well.
Yeah, no, wait, no, I think that was just called the Mona Lisa. I think it was Heart of Midlothian. I think was the story of the ODST who was got surprised by a Covenant invasion.
Oh, right, it's the other good one. It's the other really good one. Yeah, it's the Mona Lisa. You're right. Yeah.
It was,
I mixed them up.
No, it's fine. Like, Heart of Midlothian's also really good.
It is. Both of them are really good. The thing is, Halo has always had really good lore, especially like in the books or in the. Like,
oh my god, yes.
Like I just wish. Imagine if we could have got a Halo movie, like of the same quality. Honestly, though, Forward Unto Dawn was a really good one. That was one with Lasky, right? It was his backstory.
I'm gonna be real. I have actually not watched Forward Unto Dawn.
Okay, well,
that's the only like Halo related like media I have not consumed.
Because I think there's actually 2 live action Halos, and I just remembered one of them exists. Because isn't there one? There's also one about Agent Locke, and he's trying to track some. He's like, I don't know if he's trying to track Master Chief down yet, but he's like on a mission, and they land on the planet where the hunters are from. The worms.
That's Forward Unto Dawn. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking of a different one then. What was the one? It must have been because Forward Unto Dawn what was the one with Lasky? It must have been Halo Nightfall. Or no,
yeah, I think it was Nightfall.
Because Halo's had good live action. I mean, just look at the fucking Halo 3 trailers.
Oh my god, like I make it almost like a religious thing where I go back and I watch the Halo 3 live action trailers, and it's so good.
It's like Bungie, when they were in charge of Halo, it was amazing. You gotta admit, like, Destiny is alright, but it doesn't hold a candle to what they made with Halo.
No, like, in terms of the lore, like, lore-wise, no.
And I gotta say, gameplay, I think Halo, I still think to this day, I can replay Halo 1 on, like, here's the thing. I can replay Halo 1 and 2, so a single player, easily, and have more fun than most games that are coming out. Like 90% of games that are coming out nowadays, I can have a blast playing those on Legendary. But and then Halo 3 multiplayer fucking still is more fun than most games.
Good.
I mean, I think the only game that comes close in terms of fun of multiplayer that's an old game is Black Ops 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
I'm not a big Call of Duty fan.
I'm not, but I actually really dislike most Call of Duty. But Black Ops 1, loved his story. Black Ops 2 is the only multiplayer I ever did Prestige on.
Now, see, the funny thing that you mentioned that is because Bungie did mention this in the making of Halo Combat Evolved was that they used the 30-second rule. And the 30-second rule is... So the 30-second rule is that how long does the sense of enjoyment last? And they said about 30 seconds. So... by the time you sidestep a hunter, pull out your magnum, and then shoot it in the back and it drops dead, it takes about roughly around the 30 seconds.
Yeah,
and it gives you that rush.
That's
good. Oh yeah, no, that's the formula. That's the secret ingredient of Halo Combat Evolved and why it's so playable. And then now we're getting the cutting room floor project in the Master Chief collection. Oh my god, I am getting goosebumps from it. Like, have you ever heard of the cutting room floor project?
No.
So
actually, I think the cutting. Okay, I've not heard of that, but I mean, the only thing I know is cutting room or cutting floor was its own game. So I think this is different. Though. This is like cut content, isn't it?
Yeah. So 343, and this is one of the only few good things that they've actually done, is that they're working with modders. they're working with modders, and they're bringing back like old Bungie files and everything, and they're basically making a series of mods where you can add in the cut content from the original games. So so you can have things like the Piglet, which was a very a very tiny variant of the Warthog. They're even putting in the original Halo 2 Banshee run from the original ending to High Charity. They're adding in things like the Halo 2 demo level of Metropolis.
You know what we need as a modder? Can somebody just completely remod Halo 3 and get rid of the goddamn insanity of Truth and make him a fucking actual scheming guy and bring back the old voice actor? Because dear God, yes. I despise the change that like if you got there's a reason I think Halo 2 story is better than Halo 3 even to this day. I still think Halo 2 is better than Halo 3, and it's because I can't stand Truth. I cannot stand his new personality. He didn't feel like a villain. He literally felt like cannon fodder. Like, he was just like...
He did.
He was not this final villain. The Gravemind wasn't a final villain. There was no boss fight with either of them. Halo 2 had boss fights!
Yeah, and I love that so much. And, like, if you read the lore about the Prophet of Truth, lore-wise and, like, in the books and whatnot, the dude's a bastard.
Exactly.
The dude is a fucking bastard.
He is. He completely tricked his brothers into, like, for one, he kind of blackmailed them into joining him before being the leaders of the Covenant. So Truth and Mercy didn't really want to lead the Covenant. Dude, Mercy was just, like, basically, like, some just, like, old man who lived in a fucking room or something. He was, like, he didn't want anything to do with leading the Covenant. And then Truth was, like, convinced him to join. And then Regret... He also kind of tricked into joining. And in fact, the whole reason Regret showed up to Earth is because he was like, gave Regret, like, Regret was like walking on a leash and then accidentally discovered, oh, there's a portal to Earth or something. Truth was like, oh, I know where Earth is. We're gonna go destroy it. And then freaking Regret showed up too early.
Yeah, and then there was like, well, because I think like Regret was, I think, the youngest of the High Prophets.
He was.
He was the youngest and the most reckless. And then, of course, there's the whole thing with, like, mendicant bias, where Truth legitimately covered up the entire lie of the Covenant religion.
That's literally what Roundman chat's saying. Yeah, basically because they discovered... I mean, it's funny because this is only mentioned the lore, extended lore. It's not... It has nothing to do with the games. But, you know, the whole plot behind the Covenant now is, you know, Truth discovered that humans, you know, were actually reclaimers, you know, that... They were the chosen ones by the prophets. And they're like, well, that means our covenant is a lie. That means if this truth is uncovered, our entire covenant will be destroyed. Which I don't get why he cares about. Why not just leave the covenant? Why do you want to keep the covenant around if it turns out it was all a lie?
Well, the funny thing is, like, do you know who actually... like, legit started the whole war?
I'm trying to remember. It was like a brute, right?
No, it was a grunt.
Was it?
It was a grunt. He got scared and he accidentally shot a Marine, and that started the whole war.
Oh, boy.
Because originally it was like a brute. It was a brute and a couple of grunts and I think a jackal.
Yeah, and it happened on Harvest when they met Johnson.
Yes.
Contact Harvest.
Yep, Contact Harvest. And the grunt got scared. And I think he shot a plasma pistol or a needler. It was one of the two. And that basically sparked the entire Covenant War.
I love... sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you saying?
I was going to say, I love also Contact Harvest, like the origin of one of my favorite vehicles, the Chopper from Halo 3. It turns out...
I love the origin of the Chopper.
The Chopper was originally... So how the Chopper came to be is so interesting because the Chopper is a vehicle in Halo 3. If you don't know what it looks like, if this is being edited by my editor, slap a picture on screen. It looks like that. It's a bike that like tears people up. It has sharp wheels. It has like fangs on the front of it. That vehicle originally was supposed to be farming equipment. It was gifted. It was supposed to be a gift to the humans from an engineer. You know, the little floaty blue guys they introduced, like floaty blue and purple guys they introduced in ODST? Yeah, one of the first aliens was trying to gift that to humanity, and the brutes were like, oh, thank you for inventing this. This is our now. And
yeah, they're like, needs It needs more blades.
Needs more blades.
And I love the Covenant discovering the brutes because the prophets just looked at them and went, "Ooh, monkey."
Okay, Frieza. Okay, Frieza.
That's how they went. They were just like, "Oh yes, look at all these monkeys. These will serve us perfectly."
Oh man, dude, the elites actually thought that humans would have been a good fit for the Covenant. Even they were like, humans would have been a good fit in our Covenant.
Yeah, they actually respected humans. Weirdly enough, like elites actually respect humans,
and that's before the frickin' uprising.
Yeah, and they respected humans because we have spirit.
Yeah,
we are not afraid. We will charge straight. We will bum rush these guys, and they'll just sit there and look at us like, "What the fuck are these guys doing?
Oh
what
yeah,
are they doing?"
Exactly. Oh my god, dude. Frickin' also, can I just say, there needs to be a game centered around Captain Keys because
yes,
dude. Here's the thing. Screw all the other captains in frickin' Halo, dude. I know that he's only featured in one game. But him in the extended lore, other than I think Admiral Preston Cole, Captain Jacob Keyes is so fucking badass, dude. The Keyes loop is a whole strategic maneuver, dude. The
dude's a Giga Chad.
Dude, he dropped a nuke, flew past the Covenant to get their attention to follow him, and he destroyed one of their big super cruisers or whatever. Slingshot back around the planet, so to the point where the nuke was between them. And it detonated, and then he took out the ships. It's just like he's a badass dude. I freaking love him.
And okay, so I also want to, since we're talking about like Halo Giga Chads, you know who's also a two of the biggest Halo Giga Chads?
Who?
Urtas and Thel, the Arbiter and Halfjaw.
Oh yeah, no, dude, freaking hold on.
Their names are like super close to each other.
There's is it Thelvadam, and what's the other one?
It's Thel Vadam and then Artas Vadum.
Artas Vadum is Shipmaster. He's Halfjaw.
Yeah, Halfjaw. Like so
Artas is so badass. His I love his origin, dude.
So guys, so basically Urtas is the only one who's allowed to have a harem out of the two elites because he's a swordsman. And elite swordsmen are very highly regarded in their society that they cannot take wives, but they can have a harem. They are allowed to sleep with whoever they want to pass their genes. Like, Urtas could literally just kick down a door and be like, "Hey, your wife looks kind of nice."
Dude. But also, so how he became Halfjaw is a very interesting story.
Oh my god, it's such a cool story.
He basically, him and like an elite team of elites boarded a cruiser that had gone silent, had gone dark, and they went to go investigate. And they encountered the Flood.
This should have been like its own like game because of just how cool this is.
And they start taking down the Flood, but of course, as they're going through the ship, they're losing members one by one until Thelvadam finds like his old shipmaster friend or something. It's like another friend of his who's like was his equal in sword fighting.
It was actually the best swordsman in Sangheili history.
Yeah,
that was his friend.
And now he was a flood-infected monster, and so they have another duel. So he loses part of his jaw to his friend, or like I think he loses like literally half his mandibles, or is it only one mandible? I can't remember.
No, it's two mandibles.
Okay, yeah, he loses two mandibles to his freaking friend during that sword fight. Of course, he wins, and they destroy the ship. But that's how he becomes Halfjaw. And of course, what's cool about that is exactly why in Halo 2, you hear when they walk into the Flood, when you finally encounter them, you hear the freaking Artas Vadum go and say, "That stench.
That stench. I've smelled it before."
It's just I love Halo, dude.
I love Urtas so much. And then there's Thel, the Arbiter. So this dude is such a fucking Chad because he literally just catches a bunch of Marines off guard while they're sleeping.
Man.
And like his strike team were about to slag them.
Didn't he wake them up?
Yeah, so what happened was that he found a base, he attacked the barracks, and he saw a bunch of Marines scrambling around, and before any of his elites were about to just absolutely slag the crap
He let them
out
get
of
their
these...
weapons.
Yeah, he literally was just like,
he's
yo,
honorable, dude. The Arbiter
Yeah,
is honorable.
Yeah, he's just like, hey, hold up, guys, hold up.
Give them honorable deaths.
It sees them put it on their pants and put it on their boots, and like, okay, now get him.
Yeah.
Oh, they killed him. Like, they absolutely like wiped the floor
of course.
with him.
Well, this is the Arbiter, dude, and it's the Swords of St. Helios, one of the strongest Covenant fleets in history, which is why it's so dumb they fucking decided to turn him into the Arbiter. Like, he would have been so much more valuable to them just as a shipmaster. But no, they like instead of it, they don't want to be like an admiral. They want him to be a fucking foot soldier. Fucking idiots.
Also,
dude.
Lady,
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
You came into us gushing over Halo.
Yes, we're gushing over the Halo lore, the lore behind the Halo universe. Before 343 Industries took over and butchered everything.
No, I will say
love the
this,
Demon
though.
Fox King. I just want to say hello to you in chat.
No, I will say this though. I like what they did with the jackals because it's kind of cool that they gave us like another subspecies of jackal.
Yeah, I guess, but we already had the skirmishers.
Yeah, we had the skirmishers, but I think it's funny that they're like, "Oh wait, no, this isn't the actual Kigyar. This is another subspecies from a volcanic region where they de-evolved into basically dinosaurs."
They became Grarrl. That's what they evolved into.
They became me.
They evolved into him.
Hey, sometimes it's okay to go back to Dino. Reject Berg, become Dino.
Dude, can I also just say, I thought of something funny. You know, I'm glad Halo's not the kind of universe where we'll see a human bang a Kigyar.
Oh god, I don't want to live in a world where that is a possible reality.
And I love that. Or, god, do not have a human bang a grunt. Oh my god, no.
Oh god. I feel I legit feel bad for the grunts because do you know like the whole lore behind them?
Oh, you bet I do. The Grunt Rebellion and how they were put down.
No, chat. I want you to just remember this. Every time you're killing a grunt in the games, you're literally killing something that has the mindset of a 7-year-old.
Not only that, so the whole reason, the grunts, oh god, they were brought in the Covenant by force first.
Yeah.
They were discovered and brought in by force. And then the freaking Kigyar, who had a long-standing rivalry with, you know, the Ungoi, who are the grunts. So the Jackals and the grunts had a long-standing rivalry. And so the Jackals decide, on High Charity, they're like, let's gas the grunts. Let's make them all, sterile. They're not allowed to have kids. Let's get rid of them.
Our women need the eggs. They don't. There's like 20 of them.
Oh my god, yeah, it's like they gas the grunts to make them sterile. So the grunts decide, oh, no, you didn't. So they go on an uprising and unleash pure hell on High Charity. Their rebellion was so bad that what they had to do is they appointed a new Arbiter, and that Arbiter glassed the grunt homeworld. I think he glassed half the planet, or 90% of the planet.
No, it was like a small portion, but because their atmosphere is methane, the explosion that happened was catastrophic.
Dude, it's like so they had to glass their planet and projected all the screens in High Charity for all the grunts.
The Arbiter's he's just like, yo, calm the fuck down.
But after the rebellion, the Arbiter just though is like, but however, despite the rebellion, we need you to stop killing everybody. But we have seen your tenacity, your ferocity. We acknowledge you as warriors. And then they were forever become the partners of the elites, because the elites acknowledged their strength and thus made them, a part of their team. They're like, we acknowledge your strength.
And then they go back to treat them like shit.
They do, especially in some of the older games. But,
but like people don't, and also I want to emphasize this on like the size of like these aliens. Grunts are about 5'5".
Yeah, because they're 3 meters tall, like on average, which is almost 6 feet tall.
Yeah, like these aren't like quote unquote little bastards. These are big.
And the only reason they look small is because Master Chief is like 8-9 feet tall.
He's canonically like 7 feet tall, but like they're tall. Like jackals are the size of an average man.
Oh yeah. Oh, and then elites are just insanely big.
There's a ship. There was like a shipmaster who was 12 feet tall. He was
Well,
the
the
size...
brutes are taller though.
No, he was tall enough to look at a brute in the eye.
Wow,
and
really?
Brutes are like, yeah, and brutes I think are like 11 to 12 feet tall. Like this guy was gigantic for an elite. This is like the equivalent of like, I don't know if you're a fan of Warhammer, but this is like the equivalent of a Space Marine looking at its Primarch.
Oh my god! Can I also can I just say, I actually am glad that the extended lore changed it so foreigners weren't old ancient humans. I think that was actually a dumb decision. Some people are like, oh, it should have been ancient humans. No. I like them being ancient aliens, and believe it or not, I actually do like the lore behind the Didacs. And the reason I say Didacs is because there were actually, I think there were 3 technically, but I know of 2.
Yeah, there was the Ur-Didact, there was the Iso-Didact, and then there was another Didact.
Yeah, because the Iso-Didact was a basically kind of became like a clone, because the Didact, I think the Ur-Didact put his memories into the Iso-Didact and turned him into basically turned him into himself.
Yeah, and then the Forerunners placed because I think like the Iso-Didact, he was the one who
fired the Halo rings.
Yeah, and he kind of went a little crazy because
no, that wasn't the Iso-Didact who went crazy.
I think that was the Ur-Didact.
I think it was the Ur-Didact because he's the one who like it's either him or because I'm so confused that there's like 3 Didacts. But oh man, weren't the foreigners originally developed humans? No, they were not. Right?
In the original concept of Halo 2's ending, because Halo 2 and Halo 3 were technically supposed to be
the same
one big giant game. Yeah. It just budgeting wise they had to cut it in half. But the twist ending was that they were originally supposed to be ancient humans, but Bungie I think scrapped that. They're like, yeah, no, that sounds dumb.
Yeah, no, I'm glad they did. Oh my god, because dude, like, it took me forever to read the Forerunner trilogy, but after reading it, it was actually really good.
The whole, like, precursor Forerunner stuff, it's so good.
So good.
And you kind of feel bad for the Flood.
You do. Dude, the Flood, the origins of the Flood is so sad, because the precursors were basically the gods of the Halo universe. They created all the races. And so, originally, the Forerunners were going to be their successors. Or at least that's what the Forerunners thought.
No, it was humans. So they created both humans and Forerunners at the same time. But the Forerunners showed arrogance. And so the precursors were like, yeah, we're going to give the mantle responsibility to humans because they're not being giant hoity-toity douche canoes.
Yeah, and the Forerunner and the mantle responsibility basically is like, I think, like the right to rule the galaxy.
Kind of. It's basically the mantle responsibility is that they gain access to all of the precursor technology. Yeah. And basically overlook they basically become like the new gods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so the Forerunners had a big temper tantrum, and they decided to go on a genocidal campaign and kill their gods, saying like, screw you, the monkeys aren't gonna get it, we're the better ones.
To the point where there is only 2 factions who survived. Like, and by that, I mean there's a single person on one faction, and there was an entire other faction. So, the 2 ways that the Flood survived. The first way was, not the Flood, the precursors. What they did to try and escape the Forerunners, they turned themselves into dust and put themselves onto a ship. Then ancient humans and prophets, the Sanctuarium, stumbled onto these ships at the edge of the galaxy. However, and also I want to say that during this ancient time, the prophets and humans were really close. They were good friends, very good friends. And, oh god, I can't wait to talk about Prophet lore, because I want to, at some point. But basically,
we got time.
We got plenty of time. Dude, what happened with the Flood, so the humans and prophets found this dust in these ships on the edge of the galaxy. And we're like, oh, what's this dust? And then they decided to make the fucking wise decision.
They snorted like
no.
They
took a step worse. They didn't even snort like cocaine. What they did is they had their dogs and cats and birds all snort this cocaine. This ancient
they were
form
all
of dust.
just doing rails of cocaine, like basically like
they're animals.
God.
They're animals. They didn't take it themselves. They did it to their animals. Only their pets. I don't know if they did it later, but I'm pretty sure they only did it to their pets.
I think they actually did.
But because the thing is, what happened was their pets. What happened is they gave them to the pets, and they were just like, oh, why not? And then they started growing tentacles, and they're like, oh, this is cool. This is unique. Let's keep giving it to our pets.
I love that because they're like, oh yeah, no, Spot just grew like an extra arm. Oh, that's nice. Let's make this into like a completely cosmetic thing. Oh wait, why is Spot eating our daughter? Oh God, what is going on here?
And then the flood spread.
Yeah, and then basically it was like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have done this.
No.
Oops.
And so, and also I want to say, just a quick side note before I forget, so the unique thing about the Prophets, they used to be friends with humans, but they were also known as a very schemy and you know, kind of grimy kind of people. Basically, they were known to trick people. Very wormy.
Yeah, very wormy.
Which still fits nowadays.
Which is ironic because they look like worms.
Well, what's also ironic is in ancient prophet, what's the word I'm looking for? It starts with a C.
Culture?
Culture. In ancient prophet culture, the elderly were considered weak, and the young were considered strong. So young would lead the prophets, and the old were considered, like, you know, unimportant anymore.
Dead weight, essentially.
Which is the opposite of the lore after, basically, the foreigners reboot the universe. Because the prophets then were, like grew up, and they're like, yeah, there are all elderly. They became humans, basically. They're like, yeah, the elders have the power. Young are not important. So all these warriors, I mean, actually, I think that even some, because there's still prophets who are young that are strong. Like, there's basically Spartans in the prophet culture.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called, but they're scary.
I can't remember what they're called either, but they are scary. There's literally a whole book where there's one hunting down like a Spartan in Elite or something on the Halo
something
rings,
like that, yeah,
or on the Ark or something.
It's still scary as shit, though.
It's very scary, like holy crap. But oh my god, go back to the flood though. Oh god, dude, the flood tricked the prophets because while they were infecting everything, they chose not to infect humans.
Yeah, and I love this because so the humans by this time they were running away from the flood and into Forerunner space, and
glassing planets. Don't forget that. Yeah, humans were basically pulling a covenant.
Yeah, they were basically like, "Yo, what the fuck, guys? What the fuck are you guys doing?" And they're like, "Look, we don't have a lot of time to explain, but there's a lot of tentacles coming after us, and we are not into Rule 34."
And the prophets were like, I mean, not prophets. The foreigners were like. That's a bunch of bullshit. We're just gonna, we're just gonna revert you to monkey.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, the flood just come back and they're like, "Gotcha, bitch." Yeah,
well, first the foreigners then reboot humanity. They were like, let's reseed them. Let's send them back. So like their gene pool is now gonna be reset to the cavemen. But still,
they returned to monkey.
But I think that they still, though, left memories of their ancestors in their heads or something.
Yes, and I think one of the only ancient humans that were still technically alive is Chakas, which is AKA 343 Guilty Spark.
Yep, and he was a very interesting character. Still a fucking asshole, though. He killed my fucking best bud Johnson. How dare he?
Oh, yeah, like, by the time so, people don't get it, is like, by the time Master Chief meets Guilty Spark, he's fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, several millions of years of pure, unadulterated isolation drove him absolutely crazy.
Oh, man.
Which, I mean, granted, that would do it. I mean, I would.
Oh, dude. Frickin' the flood, though, oh, God. The whole origin, and then, so, of course, humanity's reset, and so... The foreigners are now at war with the flood, and the flood is slowly winning. At first, they're very slow. It's not making much progress, so they don't really see the flood as a big threat. They really don't. Of course, then the Didact decides to make the Composer to try and fight them. I'm pretty sure that's around the time.
Yeah, because I think the Composer digitizes people,
which is the reason why the Didact gets locked away.
It has the freakiest fucking scene in the 343 era games.
It really does, yeah.
That one scientist that got composed, and you see her get ripped to shreds, layer by layer. It's horrific.
It's almost like watching a scene out of Indiana Jones.
Kind of, but at least their death was quick.
Yeah. Oh, dude, though, freaking. So it's so interesting because I think the Didact got locked up for being a bloodthirsty maniac twice. So because he got locked up the first time, and then the thing is, I think I know why. I think there are 3 Didacts because I think so. The first Didact, he gets discovered by some young foreigner who I can't remember the name of, but he becomes the Didact because the first Didact is like, okay, hey, you know what? I'm gonna give you my memories and stuff, and you're gonna be basically a second to me. And the Didact basically is like, okay, I guess. And so, like, the first Didact was locked up the composer. I think he passes away at some point. But he has a clone, I'm pretty sure, somewhere. Like an actual, blood and tissue clone. So it's not like a memory clone.
Because I know by Infinite that Didact has been composed.
Yeah, that Didact, the one we fight in Halo 4, is the third Didact. He is like the actual clone of the first Didact, and he actually went to war with the Didact for a little bit, or something. Like, they were not friends.
And also, I just want to mention this, like, how scary the Flood is. They corrupted an AI.
Yeah. Oh, we definitely got to get into that. But Mendicant bias.
And then, because I really want to talk about, like, the primordial, the thing that set everything off.
Well, and that's what's scary. So we were talking about the Flood, right? And how there were 2 ways that the precursors survived. They went into space, turned themselves into dust, and then humans decided, yes, food for pet. Yes, let's grow tentacles. This is great. The second way they survived, there was only one.
Was the primordial.
And he was locked in a prison, an ancient Forerunner prison. I believe it was Forerunner.
I think so, yeah.
It could have also been ancient human, actually. I want to say it was ancient human.
No, it was Forerunner because
the ancient humans discovered him. Yeah, the ancient humans discovered him.
And basically, he literally blew their minds, as in, he told them the secrets of the universe, and they literally couldn't handle it, and they killed themselves.
Exactly. And so then the Didact and Mendicant Bias, and I think also the Didact at the time, go and have a conversation with the Primordial. And I don't know if Mendicant Bias was there yet, but he might have been. But I know that Didact talks to him.
Yeah, because I know, like, they created Mendicant Bias to talk to the Primordial.
I don't think they created him too, because I think he existed beforehand, more to combat the Flood, I'm pretty sure, and to run most of Forerunner military and also their, like, home world.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Because Faber the Master Builder was when who created him.
Yeah.
But freaking, oh my god, dude. Freaking, the Primordial basically talks to Didact and tells him, yeah, you killed us. You killed all of us. All of our people. And so, the Primordial, I don't remember if this is the moment, I think he escapes. I don't think he dies yet. This is not the moment he dies. But he escapes from his prison thing with the help of Mendicant Bias. The Foreigner AI, who's, like, in charge of all of Foreigner infrastructure and their whole freaking culture. Eternal life plus. Exactly. Wait, Romans 10:9. Eternal life plus.
Wait, what?
I don't know. I'm reading the chat. I'm very confused.
I'm reading chat too, and I'm confused.
I don't know what that means. But freaking Mendicant Bias basically is assigned to the Primordial for a bit. Faber's like, hey, go talk to this guy. Go investigate him and study him, because we don't know what he is.
And so, like, the Primordial is like, hey, you want to know about God? Yeah, I am God.
I am all God.
Of us basically, the Primordial is like, yeah, we're actually God.
The Flood is God, and we are the next step in evolution.
Like, that's honestly, like, you gotta think that's fucking scary. Like, the Flood is literally just their God, but twisted and warped.
Exactly. And the thing he says to Mendicant Bias, he's like, I am God. And the Flood is also, like, you were gods. The Flood is the next stage of evolution. And the Foreigners are defying us of this. Or denying the universe this next stage of evolution. Mm-hmm. And then convinces Mendicant Bias that, yes, be on our side. We are the next stage. Foreigners are idiots. And then he's, oh my god.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, Minicabai, basically, it's called the Logic Plague. It's basically the Flood's way of infecting AI.
And I think Cortana had it too.
Yes, it's why she started going so rampant so quickly. Also, side note, I fucking hated that. Like, I think that the hallucinations you have in Halo 3 are so stupid. The little.
Yeah, they were kind of dumb.
They were very dumb. They didn't make sense lore wise, and they just were dumb.
They don't. And then, so with Halo 4, with like Cortana being the villain, I like it's a nice throwback because originally the original thing with Halo was that Cortana was supposed to be the villain.
Yeah.
So she absorbed so much information that she went crazy and she became a villain, and she was going to be a boss battle.
Yeah. Either way, I still don't like with 343. Like, some people are like, oh, Halo 4 was good. It's like, it was alright. It was alright at best.
I don't like it. I don't like the art style. As soon as I saw the art style, I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, there's only one character there's only two things I like from Halo 4. And I technically three, but one of them is Bolt. So one, I love Lasky. I love Lasky.
Lasky's such a good character.
Lasky, I wish they'd bring him back, dude. He felt like the next Captain Keyes.
He did. He legit felt like a nice medium between the badass that is, Johnson and Captain Keyes.
Exactly. And he was very, friendly. He was like just a good bro.
He was a person, and then we get Palmer and the guy who screams,
and Del Rio.
Surrender that.
Give me that chip. It's a Dorito. I want it. Yes.
Like, I hated them. I hated all of them.
Just Lasky was good, though. You have to admit that Lasky was good. And one of the second thing I think was good that I think is good that a lot of people disagree with me on, but I think I love the concept of the infinity. I love the idea that humans have gone so advanced thanks to, the end of the war and getting on the forward attack that now we have a powerhouse of a ship that surpasses everything else in the universe right now. It's like, that's a good
idea.
It was a good idea and it made sense. What they should have done is keep going and be like, okay, now think about it. The Flood exists outside our universe, dude. The Flood, okay, we gotta get back to the Flood because I want to get back. We gotta talk about that part about why I think the Flood should come back. But go back to Primordial for a sec. You go ahead.
No. I was agreeing with you about.
You're the fanboying like I am. You're like,
I miss the Flood. I miss them. It was that key part of the Trinity that is Halo that is sorely missing, and 343 doesn't know what the fuck
here's the thing. You want to know why 343 is failing? They forgot what the name of the game is in Halo 4. It's Halo. Yeah. There wasn't a single Halo ring in sight in that game. Like, okay, I understand Halo 3 ODST didn't have a Halo ring, but it was a side game, and it was a good side game. But Halo...
It was an in-between story.
Halo has always been about... It's literally named after the Halo rings. What were the Halo rings designed for? Destroying the Flood, or their food source. So, who is technically the main villain of Halo? It's not the Covenant, it's the Flood. It's the Flood. Yeah. And so, they forgot that.
It's the twisted warp god that is basically consuming everything.
And if you read the lore that because I found every audio log and piece of lore in Halo Infinite, because some of it was good and interesting, but what pissed me off is that they're claiming, the Forgotten, or what are they called? The Forsaken? The Endless. Like, the Endless were a bigger threat than the Flood because the Halo ring didn't wipe them out.
No, they're not.
No, they're not! They're not a bigger threat. You can't introduce a bigger threat than the Flood. You can't.
And I think we can shimmy over to Halo Infinite because...
Well, before I know we want to, but I also want to talk about the origin of the Gravemind. I'm dying to talk about that because it's so cool.
Because so then I guess we have to talk about the tier system because the Gravemind does go hand in hand with the tier system.
Well, I want to go even before the tier system existed, which is I want to go that far back in the lore, which is so Chalkus, 343 Guilty Spark before he became 343 Guilty Spark, back when he was a human. He was, after the events of the first one or two books in the Forerunner trilogy, he gets held prisoner and sent off by Faber, the Master Builder, the asshole that he is. Faber's like, send all these humans to this Halo ring for experimentation.
House of Pain.
And yeah, the Palace of Pain.
Yeah, the Palace of Pain, like,
That's
some fucked up shit.
Yeah, to torture and experiment on humans, especially with the Flood. Because he was trying to find out why the Flood weren't infecting humans. And so Chakas is going around the whole Halo ring with a bunch of other ancient humans who are starting to remember their ancient memories, which that plot point's still weird as hell to me, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like, that whole, because apparently, like, the past memory of, the Lord of Admirals is in Master Chief, which is, like, when I first heard, I'm like, are you seriously doing, like, past lives?
It's weird. I think it's very dumb. But freaking, so Chakas goes around the Halo ring, and of course, they're seeing some hideous stuff with the Flood, but the Flood's doing nothing to them. Because the Flood is like, apparently doesn't affect humans. Apparently doesn't. I wonder about that. Come to find out that, then Chakas ends up, I'm pretty sure he ends up encountering the Primordial. I'm pretty confident that's what happens. And what happens is, so the Primordial actually, I can't remember how, I think Chakas ends up getting infected, because the Primordial's like, well, we're winning against the Foreigners now, we don't need to hide the secret that we can't affect humans anymore. So they start infecting humans. But Chakas, before he dies or whatever, he gets saved by the Isodidact and put into 343 Guilty Spark. But right before that, or not right before that, during that time, the Primordial is killed, or at least that's like he says he acts like he's dying, but he warns that he's gonna come back. And so what he does, because these guys are gods, you gotta remember, the precursors and the Primordial are gods. So what the Primordial does, he's like, I'm going to give all these ancient techniques, like being able to use star, what are they called? Star rails, or what are they called? Like
Star, I think they are called star rails.
It's like, basically, it's an advanced form of
warp travel, basically.
Yeah, even more so than FTL drive or whatever it is in Halo. The slip space. Yeah, the slip space travel. It's way more advanced. It's like almost instantaneous, basically. But it's like a mental thing. They can just fast travel, basically.
because basically, like, the precursors, they are at such a high tier that they basically can transcend reality.
Yeah.
Like, they are that high up on the list. I think that's tier, I want to say that's tier 5. I want to say that's like tier 5.
I think it's.
I mean, like, if
or tier 7, like, knowing Bungie.
Yeah,
because I love the number 7.
Yeah, I think it was like tier 7 or something like that, because it was like brutes. I think by the time the Covenant found them, were like at tier 3, which is like an industrial era, and then we are currently at tier. I want to say tier 4. I want to say it's tier 4 where. Yeah, because we're just kind of monkeying around with interspace travel and all that kind of stuff.
And the Covenant itself is like a tier 5 or 6.
Yeah, so like the Covenant they're there, kind of.
They're almost.
But they're there because they have engineers that legitimately literally just re-engineer things.
And the Foreigners themselves were like a tier 6. They were like almost. The Foreigners had almost achieved it, but then they fucked up.
Yeah, and then like the Gravemind. So with the Gravemind is that it also has its own like tier system. So when we see the Gravemind, or at least the Flood in Halo
1 was the Feral stage.
Well, the Feral, and then the Proto Gravemind stage.
Yes, Feral and Proto Gravemind with Captain Keys, which, fuck, man. Knowing their Senate Lord happens to Keys, it fucking breaks my heart, dude.
Fuck. What breaks my heart is Jenkins.
Dude.
Oh god, like
we gotta talk about him later.
Oh god, it legitimately gives me goosebumps just talking about Jenkins, because it's fucked up.
Also, again, I apologize to anyone who's listening to my mic if it sounds a bit janky. I have to have my AC on. It's 80 degrees. My AC is running at full blast, and it's still not cold in my room. But anyways,
you're good.
Talk about the Gravemind though. Before the system started, like, I want to make sure I talk about all the precursors and their abilities, because the Primordial upon quote-unquote dying, he gives all his power to the Flood. And what that does is, anytime a grave mind is formed, it becomes a hive mind, and it inherits all the memories of previous precursors and previous grave minds.
Yep.
Which is insane.
Yeah, and then what we see in Halo 3 is not Halo 3, but Halo 2 is a tier 3.
The Halo 2 was a tier 3 because it goes Feral, Proto. I think technically there's also a stage in between Proto and full Gravemind, though. I want to say it's like a civ. Well, actually, no. I think the stage 3 is Gravemind because that's the civilized stage or Gravemind, Hive Mind stage where they can start wielding driving vehicles and holding weapons.
They're an organized force instead of feral.
Yep, and then we get into the stages we have not seen in the games,
which is tier 4 and 5, which is where they can access like Forerunner technology.
Yeah, stage 4, I believe, is when Flood gained the ability to travel between. I think
stars,
actually it's either that. I think that is stage 4, but I think stage 5 is basically the Dead Space stage. Because that is the planetary stage, where the Flood have infected an entire planet, and thus gain the ability, basically the planet, it becomes a planet grave mind. I forget what they're called. There's like a specific name for that level of grave mind.
I want to say they're called planet mines.
I think
I'm
not
entirely sure.
I think that's like the unofficial name that the
I'm like halfway tempted to look it up right now because it's like.
Yeah, and what's crazy is, so planet mines, remember how I mentioned that the Flood can use their mind to slip space travel? Once they enter planet stage, or planet mines, they can slip space travel entire planets!
Here we go, hang on, I'm actually Googling it real quick.
That's just insane to me. They can literally go, oh yeah, I want to move this entire, I just want to move Earth over next to Jupiter real quick. Of course.
I think it is called the planet mine.
Yeah. Dude, it's, oh my god. So it's terrifying. The stages of the Flood are terrifying. And then there's, of course, the rumored 6th stage, which the Flood never reached, which is a galaxy mine, basically, infecting the entire galaxy.
Basically, yeah, because I think, like, at that point, they're beyond not trying to become God anymore. They're now just trying to assimilate, trying to have everything be joined once again.
And then, and here's the thing. This is why, I agree with Hidden Xperia here, which I love his channel. Hidden Xperia.
I do love Hidden Xperia.
So good. I think he's the best lore channel of all Halo. I think so too. I don't think there's anyone who can surpass him. He's always on top of lore. He knows what he's looking up. He knows all the lore of like the back of his hand. But frickin', oh my god, this is one thing I agree with him. The Flood should come back. It makes sense to come back. Because here's the thing. Yes, the Halo rings were fired, which we actually haven't even fully touched on the Halo rings yet, which we got. Oh, I love Halo lore, dude. It does so much. But
this could be 3 streams in of itself, just discussing Halo, because shit gets deep. People don't realize is that shit gets deep.
Dude, I love Halo lore way more. Like, some people are like, oh, hey, Warhammer 40k has some good lore, sci-fi lore.
Yeah, no. Now, as a 40k fan, I will admit, Warhammer has a lot of deep lore, but like Halo, that's what makes it so special, is because you don't expect it. You don't expect Halo.
And as you do some deep digging, it has some really good deep lore. Oh, but okay, you're getting back on track before I forget. So, the Flood, right? So, going into this, now let me describe the stage of the Flood. When the Foreigners were at war with the Flood, near the end stage, when they decided they had to fire the Halo rings, which we haven't even talked about the creation of Halo rings yet, because, oh boy, Faber was an asshole.
And there's also things like shield worlds, which are like companion pieces to like Halo rings.
Exactly, and I can't wait to get into that. We'll get back then in just a sec, because the last thing I want to say about the Flood right now, the Flood, basically, we're at a stage where they were able to move the entire planets. They were at the stage 5. They were very close to hitting stage 6 Flood of taking over the entire galaxy. However, the Halo rings are fired. But the Halo rings. Hold on, one sec. Do I have an emote for this? No, hold on. Come on, I think I want. I'm looking. I want to find a good facial emote for this. One sec. I'll find it. I believe.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
The Flood The Halo rings only covered our galaxy, not the outside of our galaxy. If you think about that. The Flood very well could just like how they were dust on ships, could very well be outside the galaxy, or for all you know, could have gone out and be like, let's go infect another galaxy. And thus...
And then they're just kind of like hovering around our galaxy, like, and now we wait.
And here's the thing. I think this might be a Hidden Xperia original theory, or maybe it's a very popular one. If it wasn't his original one, then, or if it was his original, he made it popular. If it wasn't, whatever. It's still a cool theory. Is what if the Flood are just waiting to test humanity one more time to test to see if they're worthy of the mantle responsibility? But they have the Flood all on standby outside a galaxy for one big standoff. So they're waiting for humanity to try and unite the galaxy, and then the Flood come back.
It wouldn't surprise me.
That would have been such a good storyline, but fucking 343 decided
because we still have Delta Halo. We still have Delta Halo with an out of control Flood outbreak. Because remember, when we were on Delta Halo in Halo 2, there was already a grave mine, and it has corrupted and infected its monitor. Penitent Tangent.
Which, the thing is, I do believe that in the lore, I don't remember which book, but I'm pretty sure it's mentioned that they did cleanse Delta Halo.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I believe later on, like, they had, like, teamed up with the elites, they glassed the ring and all that.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah, so that one's dead. Like, honestly, though...
But still, there's other Halo rings, though. There's other Halo rings.
You gotta keep in mind that I think that book that glassed Delta Halo has probably come out around the time that 343 was taking over. And I've been noticing something. Don't you feel like they're trying to erase the Flood from the...
I think they are, because they're wanting to market Halo as more of like a rated T for teen franchise. Because guys, you gotta understand is that the Flood is one of the reasons why Halo is M for mature, because they're straight up body horror.
I don't give a crap. I want it back, dude.
I do too. They added a certain scare element, because as soon as you see, like, and especially you start hearing like like the theme from like the library when the Floods start coming, you get your ass, you shit your pants and you're running.
But can I just say, nothing tops like the one moment I wish I could forget and relive every single day of my life is if I could just erase the mission 343 Guilty Spark and just remember it for the first time every single time, because when you first encounter the Flood, because the entire tone of the game is like you're pushing back the aliens, trying to take over the ring, and then you go try and find Captain Keyes. And then you start seeing things in the fog. You see things that are popping up as friendlies on your radar, but they don't really look human. And
no, they don't.
No, and then you go down, and you're just seeing dead bodies of Covenant, and you were not there. You were not there, and then you discover a video log about an elite, about Captain Keyes and Johnson and a team of Marines investigating an elite who had his chest burst open. And it becomes a horror game, dude. And then you encounter the Flood.
That level just gives me goosebumps, dude.
And
then you walk into the hallway, and it's smeared with grunt blood.
Yes, but
it's all over the place.
And you want to know what's sad is 343 screwed up. I like the anniversary graphics, except for, like, if there's one level I have to turn them off on. I hated it. I have to turn it off for 343 Guilty Spark because of all the blood and the fact there's one elevator in 343 Guilty Spark.
Yeah, and it's just like smeared just blood all the way down.
And the thing is, you don't even realize the elevator is going down until you hit the button, because you're trying to go back up, but it goes down. But then you start seeing all the blood. And the thing is, you don't see the blood in the anniversary graphics, but the reason the blood is there
such a good build-up.
is because it implies that the Flood are throwing bodies down the elevator so they can make more of them.
Oh my god, it's just so good. And then when we get to like the Truth and Reconciliation and it's being taken over, just the tone of Cortana's voice when she says, look, they're starting to gather bodies. It's like you're kind of like realizing the scope of just how dangerous the Flood are and what they're doing.
And then there's also Lasky involved in the books. Because we got Cat the Keys in the books, and what he had to do to fight, because they were trying to search his brain for location to Earth. And so he just kept feeding them information. He kept be like, alright, here's my memories. Here's my wife. Here's my child. Here's my birthday. Here's this. He just
the dude went down fighting.
Like, he's my serial number, Jacob, Keys, serial number, yada, 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 yada. Just kept repeating his serial number and feeding them the memories one at a time. And the Flood were just getting pissed off at him. Like, they wanted his memories of Earth. Because he's a captain. If they can learn how to fly the ship. High rank. He knows location of Earth. And, oh, man, it's so good.
And if I could take a moment about, like, just describing the infection of a Flood, it's horrific.
Go right ahead.
So the Flood will go after a certain organism with like a certain amount of biomass and intelligence. So obviously humans, elites, brutes, Sengshayum, anything with a certain amount of intelligence that can benefit them, or biomass that they can be used for combat forms. And so what they will do is that they will cut you. It doesn't matter like if it's a small cut or a big giant gash in your chest. They want your spinal cord. That's the one thing that they try to go for, is your spinal cord. And they will then wrap their tendrils up to your spinal cord until they can get to your brain.
Yep.
And then what they will do is that it will start off with a low voice, and then it will build up more and more, and then all you hear is join. Join.
And then they start melting, like they start morphing your bones. Like
they will liquefy your organs, stretch out your bones,
turn your spine into claws,
or like they'll break your neck and burst out your chest. And the most horrific thing about all this, you are still alive and very well conscious while they're doing it.
For a little while. Most people die very quickly because the Flood doesn't, like, once they get your memories, they let you die. However, yeah, that's pretty much what's implied. The only exception to this, of course, was Jenkins. Because his Flood infection form was
defective.
Old and defective. Which is a very interesting idea. Extending the lore, it becomes a lot more confusing later on how that wasn't the case. But still a cool idea. Because Jenkins was alive. Conscious the entire time he was not infection form. Because I think those are little... Is it infection?
Yeah, the popcorn. We call them popcorn. But yeah, that's the infection forms, yeah.
Yeah, the combat form. That's what he was turned into.
Yeah, combat form, yeah.
And so he was alive the whole time. He felt the pain of it liquefying his organs and ripping apart his spine and morphing his bones. But of course he's still conscious because they basically, somehow the Flood's able to basically contain your brain and soul.
Yeah, it's just absolutely just wait. Sounds convoluted.
Convoluted. Should have just got the naval passages. I mean, do you mean nasal? Because here's the funny thing. We forgot to mention this. At stage 3, where the Flood becomes a grave mine, it starts producing spores in the air to alter the atmosphere. And those spores can be breathed in instead of the infection forms, and then those can convert you. Just to, that's why it's after the Flood, basically... I don't know if this happens the earliest stages of Flood, but at some point the Flood, if they just scratch you with their claw, you're infected.
You're gone. There is no cure.
It becomes it's a proper zombie virus, but terrifying. Like even worse than your regular zombie virus.
It's like we mentioned, it's basically their god. It's the Halo universe's god.
I mean, again, like we mentioned, they didn't infect humans by choice. Even when they were at planetary stage, they had grave mines.
They were fucking with the Forerunners. That's the scariest part, is that they were just fucking with them.
Although to be fair, the Flood wasn't a big threat until the Primordial decided, I'm going to give the grave mine my memories. That was when shit went to fan.
And also your most valuable AI.
That too. Freaking Mendicant bias.
And also, if you read the terminals of Halo 3, I think it's Mendicant Bias actually being remorseful.
Professing his sins, yeah.
Yeah, because I think he was split into 2? Because I think it was like the main body was in the Forerunner Dreadnought that's on High Charity, and then part of it was on the Ark, if I remember.
So someone in chat just said, also the hip has more nerves, so why not go for the anus?
I mean,
I don't think I want the Flood to get anal probing.
I just got the image of like a Flood infection form. You know how they would burst out of your chest?
Yeah. Well, they don't burst out your chest. They're not chest bursters. They drill into your chest.
Well, I mean, like in the games where you can see like the little infection form coming out of its chest, basically.
Well, the thing is, they go into the chest. They drill in. Yeah. The only reason an infection form comes out of the chest is if its combat form has died or has become useless.
Yeah.
Like if you shoot off both the arms, basically.
And just imagine that, but like in the anus.
Oh man, exactly.
You're gonna have to shoot the guy in the ass.
Dude, but oh man.
Oh my god, I can't get that out of my head now.
Yeah, Jenkins was such a sad thing because what's terrifying. Okay, so he was awake while being infected, and so he was walking with the Flood, and they eventually he gets captured by a group of ODSTs and humans, and Marines. And they start interrogating him. They capture him for interrogation and research. And while they're trying to interrogate him, he managed to briefly is able to take over the Flood. Because the Flood has a consciousness in his head, he's able to subdue it for a brief time. And he warns the humans. All he does is he points down. He points down because they ask him. He points down. And the humans, just a chill runs down their spine because they realize there's Flood below them, below their base.
That is horrific. That is so terrifying.
And so they go down there to investigate, and they find a grate that has been fired at by plasma rifle shots from the Flood. They're trying to melt the grate, and it would not have lasted a few more hours. And so they realize, we have to go down there. We have to go down there and block the passageways down there.
That's so terrifying.
They have to go down into the dark and down below the vent. They take off the vent, but they do it. They pull it off. They go down there and block the passageways. And so they block the passageways, but they only have one casualty, I believe. So they got lucky. But that's still terrifying, dude. You're going down to your fight. Like that one casualty, I have to feel so bad for him, dude.
Because you gotta remember, they basically have to just mercy kill that motherfucker. Because otherwise, he's going to turn into a zombie.
I almost want to say... I haven't read that book in so long. I almost feel like they left him a grenade so he could kill himself. I want to say...
And here's the really cool thing, though, is like, if you read Halo the Flood, it's literally the game, but in novel form.
It's Halo Common Evolved, but in novel form, with a whole bunch of new lore. And it's really well made.
With Linda somehow being alive, despite being jettisoned into space for how many fucking days?
Yeah. But also, what's also crazy is the elite who's trying to track down Master Chief.
I love that story.
And how he's basically his grunt that ends up basically bossing him around near the end.
I love it because it's like a Saturday morning cartoon villain always getting foiled
by Master Chief, or Master Chief's just not there.
And then and I love this because it's like they go to the Pillar of Autumn, and they're just like, fuck it, we're gonna meet him at this fucking elevator. Screw this.
And they have a turret there in the books. They don't in the game. I wish they did, but they do in the books. They set up a shade turret in the elevator.
Yeah, and then it was like the elevator just collapses while they're still there.
They don't. It has a collapse. Master Chief, there was a plasma grenade in there.
Oh yeah, they just go out like bitches.
They do. They get utterly destroyed. It's like this entire time he's trying to hunt down Master Chief, but dude, not a smart idea. You're hunting down the demon.
The funny thing is that I love it when Halo gets goofy. because it's some of the most ridiculous bullshit I've ever seen. Like, if you watched the Halo anime, the segment where Akira Toriyama took over, that's canon.
Is it the one with the one Spartan?
It's the one with the dinosaurs. It's the one with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, the dinosaurs and the other Spartan who's like the apprentice of Master Chief or something. Who's like a troublemaker.
It's Spartan 1337.
Oh my god!
I love his like introduction. Like, he goes, even if you don't want to hear it, I'll tell you anyways. I'm one of the strongest warriors in all the galaxy. I am Spartan 1337.
Oh man, like kind of messed up in the future. Each combat suit has a self-destruct mechanism.
Yeah, they do. Like, all Spartan armor has a self-destruct mechanism.
Oh really?
Yeah, all of them do.
I didn't know this.
Like, if you read
why didn't they blow up in Halo Infinite?
I'm actually quite surprised. I mean, like, then again, it's also Halo Infinite, and the more I think about it, the more I get angry.
Yeah, well, we still gotta talk about that, but we're talking about the good of Halo first. We're talking about the good.
Oh yeah, and also, like, here's like my favorite like little tidbit about Halo lore that's just really absurd and goofy. Technically speaking, Dead or Alive is canon with Halo.
Yep. Also, by the way, I'm glad you're enjoying our rant. We're having a lot of fun. We just wanted to gush about Halo.
This is amazing.
Dude.
Dude, I'm having such a blast.
And now that we're talking about Halo Evolutions, can I just say, the best story from that. There is two. There's the ODSTs who snipe a prophet with
God, I love the babysitter. That's
that was
the babysitter.
Good. That was good. But the best one was Homecoming. The one with Ghost.
No. Ghost is the prototype.
The prototype is my favorite. I think the prototype is
the prototype.
The prototype. It's like it actually feels. It's like he's in the prototype Mjolnir armor, prototype Spartan armor, and
technically that's not part of Mjolnir, but it's a precursor to the Mjolnir.
Yeah, that's why I love it. It's like it added more lore, and I love it. And also just his backstory about how how he watched all his teammates.
He's just numb. Like, the dude's numb.
He's watched everyone die, all the people he loves, all his team members die. He's like become a ghost, and so as the last act is to prove he's human, is to do a self-sacrifice and self-destruct on this Covenant fleet who are trying to capture the prototype.
And also, can we just like talk about the prototype too? It's like, for something that was like pre-Mjolnir like era power armor, the thing kicked so much ass.
It was basically a mecha suit.
It was like legitimately like a Mjolnir Gundam suit, and it took out so much Covenant soldiers without beating a sweat.
Exactly,
before it actually died. And it's like, god damn.
It's such a good story. That one's so good.
And then there's Homecoming, which honestly, it's so sad because it's so.
Was Homecoming the one with Halsey?
With Daisy. Yeah, with Daisy.
Oh no, Daisy. Oh yeah, her story.
Oh my god, it's so heartbreaking because
the Flash cloning.
Yeah, because so with Flash cloning, basically, Dr. Halsey kidnapped children at the age of 6 to basically get turned into super soldiers. And what they did is that they Flash cloned these children, and their clones were designed to die early.
I don't think they were designed. I think they just did.
No. They were designed to die early. They were designed to die at a very young age because they didn't want to, raise, suspicion that a bunch of 6-year-olds went missing.
Well, I think they could have. I think that just Flash coding in general was just something that they hadn't worked all the kinks out yet, and so those lifespans were not going to be long.
Kind of, but John's or the Master Chief's clone,
because
his clone actually lived long enough to be an adult and enlist in the military.
Well, here's the what?
Yeah, that's a thing. Actually, that's a thing that happened.
Huh.
Actually, no. I think about it. It didn't enlist in the military. It actually died pretty later on. Like, it lived longer than it should have. And it died.
Think, yeah. But that's exactly my point. Like you said, longer than it should have. Because here's the thing. If you think about it, if Flash cloning had all the kinks worked out, why didn't they just Flash clone 100 Master Chiefs? And just,
exactly.
But no, the kinks weren't worked out yet. Lifespans were not extensive enough. It's the same reason, like, Flash cloning was illegal.
Yeah.
Which is the one part of Red versus Blue, like their lore that doesn't make sense, is that somehow the director was able to flash clone his brain. The only reason that Halsey was able to do this because she was able to get away with it. But by the sounds of it, they made it sound like the director had permission to flash clone his brain, which makes no
honestly,
sense.
I love Red versus Blue. I hate that they try to go in this weird, serious route.
Well, here's the thing. I love everything up to season 13. I love everything because it was so funny. But when it was so funny, and you can still rewatch and still laugh your ass off. But when they got serious, they actually were good at storytelling. Like Monty Ohm and Bernie Burns,
R.I.P. Monty.
And Miles Luna, good writers, dude. Felix, I love the rivalry between Felix and the Reds and Blues, and how Locust becomes a good guy. I love all that. Good story writing. But after 13, things got quite rocky.
Yeah, it got so bad.
Yeah, let's see.
And no, I was just saying, like with Homecoming, it's like, how do you like process the fact that you are literally like staring at yourself, basically?
Staring at your clone, yourself, and they've been living a different life from you.
Yeah, that has to fucking mess you up.
I don't doubt it.
I mean, she was about to kill her too. That was the thing. It was
did she kill her?
No, she didn't. The Daisy clone, of course, died. But I think looking at the anime, the Daisy clone also outlived a pretty good long time, because by the time Daisy was at that stage, she had to be like 13. Which
you know what? We have so much more to talk about because, dude, we haven't even talked about Spartans yet.
No,
but we'll get into that because we got to finish up about Jenkins, the final bit. We have not finished up Jenkins yet. But Jenkins, he pointed down, which again, that's just terrifying. Imagine you're asking where's the flood or what, yada 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 yada. I can't remember what they ask him, but the fact he points down to warn them, that's all he can do is point down.
And then reality sets in, and it's like, my God.
Yeah, but then after that, so they realize, he can communicate with them, so they keep him around. They don't kill him. So they drag Jenkins around, like they've been chained up, drag him along with their plan to go overtake the foreigner cruiser, the Truth or Conciliation, the ship that was damaged in Halo Combat Evolved.
Yeah.
And so, also, wait, if a clone kills yourself, is that considered commit Sudoku? I have no idea what that'd be considered. I don't know. Self-murder? Clone murder?
Suicide?
Maybe? I don't know if that's. I don't know if that word is safe for YouTube.
I don't know. I feel like that's something for like a whole other little topic there.
Okay, so they drag Jenkins to the ship because the humans.
It's like cloning dinosaurs.
Yeah, or like fossils in Pokemon. Who knows?
Oh God.
So the reason they're going to this ship is because they want to repair it to get off the ring. Which, yeah, that makes sense. They know Master Chief's planning to blow up the Autumn because, yes, destroy the ring, destroy the flood, or at least stop the ring from firing, whatever. Then, so they go to this ship because they want to repair the ship. They know there's flood bodies on board. They have flood bodies on board. They're like, let's take the captain or the Oni officer is like, we gotta take this back. We gotta take this back so we can study them. But Jenkins freaks out. He's like freaking out because he can hear the flood in the walls of the ship. He knows they're there. So he tries to jump and leap at the power cable of the ship that would blow up the ship. But the Marines hold him back. And so the vice captain, this female captain, who's been, one of the main characters, I forget what her name is, it's like Lieutenant something. She knows what Jenkins is trying to do, and she realizes there's flood in the walls. Which is terrifying, mind you.
That's terrifying.
The flood are in hiding. They're acting like they're not there, so that way the humans will take him back to Earth. And so, she decides to make a self-sacrifice. I think she ignites a plasma grenade and throws it into the power of the ship, and the whole ship blows up, and all those survivors die. Self-sacrifice.
But just
praise Helix. But the Helix fossil, oh boy.
This is why I love Halo so much.
It's so
stuff
good.
Like this. Stuff like that where it's not all about the Spartans and the ODSTs, but you have regular people doing like really, really big events like that.
Yeah,
like,
and
that
Halo's just like, it's a Master Chief story. I mean, 3 for 3, like, it's a Master Chief story. It's a Master Chief story.
It's a Spartan story. It's a Spartan story.
It's like, we don't want the Spartan story. That's not what, like, it's not a war without Marines, dude. Even, like, you gotta admit, Call of Duty does better with story in that regard, because they revolve around Marines and the people. Like,
regular, like, soldiers, not just, like, a walking fuck you stick.
It's like the only reason Master Chief was cool because we got, like, don't get me wrong, I love the Marine mechanics in Halo Infinite. I loved getting my Marines all, like, hooked up and getting them in my vehicles, hooking up with weapons. That was cool. I like the Razorback. I like being able to travel with, like, 6 Marines at once. That's cool. But I don't like most of the other shit about Halo Infinite. But we'll get into Halo Infinite. We're not there yet.
I'm just sitting here, like, just biting this desk right now. I'm just like, I just want to just tear it up.
Oh, dude, it's but so
the anger is penting up. The anger is building.
It is because you gotta remember, all this love that we're talking about is about to be butchered once we start talking about Infinite and 4 and 5 and all the things. Spartan Assault. Ugh.
I have not played Spartan Assault, and thank God that I didn't play Spartan Assault.
It's so
because
bad.
I saw it had Palmer. I'm like,
it looks so bad. It looks so bad. I never played it, but it looks so bad. Oh man. But so, brief mention. Can I just say one of the coolest moments in the book of Halo: The Flood is Master Chief's in the library. He's nearing the end when he encounters a body, a mangled corpse. Mangled beyond the repair, like beyond the use that Flood could have for it. So it's just bits of flesh everywhere, which is honestly wrong because the Flood can use any piece of flesh and any piece of biomatter.
But it's just I was gonna say, because it's like, if a combat form is too badly damaged, or if a body in general is too badly damaged, it'll become a carrier form.
Exactly, but so that's why it doesn't really make sense, this whole statement.
No,
but still. The idea is still badass because they stumble upon Master Chief stumbles upon his dog tag, picks it up, and it says Staff Sergeant Marvin Mabudo, something like that. And Master Chief realizes this guy wasn't a Spartan. He was just a regular old human sergeant, traveled through a lot, was fighting the Flood. Master Chief's like, dude, I am on my last legs. I'm exhausted. And this guy got this far without augmentation. And then he literally gives the guy a eulogy. He's like, Sergeant, I don't know who you are, but you must have been one hard-ass son of a bitch. And I wish I would have known you.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, like, the game it's like the games don't really, like, expand upon this, but, like, John, or the Master Chief, is a pretty nice guy.
And he's a soldier. He's a soldier. He's not just a superhero. He respects his fellow Marines, dude.
Which is something that the live action series in Halo Infinite seemed to not get.
Oh my god, that's kind of curious with the amount of events that's happening throughout the whole series. At one point, did humanity decide to make Flood hand sanitizer to combat it? Well, I mean,
maybe ancient humans.
Ancient humans, because they basically just use glassing beams, like with the. I mean, in all honesty, that's
you got a bad infestation. Just glass it.
There's a reason why, honestly, humanity was so lucky we allied with the elites, because when the Flood touched down on Earth, the only reason the Earth has survived is because the elites, Half-Jaw, frickin' Ardas Vadum, he glassed Africa.
Half of Africa, yeah, because Lord Admiral Hood is like, and you just glass half of a continent. Maybe the Flood isn't the only thing we should be worried about.
A single Flood spore could infect a single Flood spore could bring down an entire species.
Exactly, and he even said, like, if it wasn't for the Arbiter and his council, I would have glassed your planet.
I would have glassed your entire planet.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not. But that's the whole reason humanity honestly survived, because if we're going to talk about the most effective, if you want to know what the most effective weapons do against the Flood, it's plasma. Plasma's the most effective. It's like hot, like melting the flesh, because, it's all flesh. That's why sniper rifles are not effective against the Flood. Like
shotgun rounds are.
They are, because it shreds the flesh. and it can hit the combat form and stuff like that. Shotguns are effective, so it's like shrapnel, like grenades and shotguns and rockets, all very effective. Explosives, all very effective. Thermal, like thermite, probably very effective. Fire, flamethrowers, effective. Things that melt or shred are effective.
Light weaponry like the Prometheans, that works because they were designed to combat the flood.
Well, that's hard light weapons, but also I mean,
still,
I both love and hate the Promethean concept, but I more so hate it because they're fucking bullet sponges in Halo 4, and I despise that.
Oh yeah, no, like that. And then they nerfed him down. Thank God in 5.
I never played 5. I specifically chose not to play 5 because I heard all the bad shit.
You're not missing out much. It's like, do you remember the advertisement back in the day about Halo 5?
Oh, they lied to everyone.
Oh yeah, no, they lied. That was like a straight up lie. That was like a straight up lie.
They basically pulled a No Man's Sky and a Fallout 76, but before it was cool.
They put the bag over your face and just slapped the shit out of you.
Which I gotta give it credit. No Man's Sky, the issue was that the lead PR guy was the lead developer at the same time, so he would just say things by complete accident, and then they would write that down, like, yeah, he's the lead developer and he's the PR guy. What he's saying has to be true, dude. Well, it was a small development team for No Man's Sky. You gotta give him slack.
But here, though, there's no excuse.
No, not for 343. 343 gets no excuse. Not when they're I can't wait to butcher on what they did to fucking Infinite. All the promises they gave us and did not deliver. Yes. But, again, I want to save that.
And someone says, has at one point in the story, the whole world decided to use Android to combat. Technically, yes, with the Promethean Knights, they're technically robots.
They're technically androids, yeah. The Promethean Knights are basically composed humans that are turned into warriors. I think also some of them were ancient forerunners as well, but they mainly were humans.
They were, majority of them were ancient humans that were composed, yeah.
I guess they're
flood can't... Yeah, basically. Like, even the little crawler dogs that you see, yeah, those were humans too.
Yep, exactly.
The Watchers, which is weird because I remember people calling them bishops.
Oh man!
For some reason, I don't know why they call them bishops, because knight. I don't know. But yeah, the Watchers, those were humans too.
I mean, and they were effective. They were, but the only issue is the supply and demand. It was hard to make enough Prometheans because, again, they would have to compose humans. And let's just say that the librarian wasn't too fond of that.
She's like, yeah, I'm going to have to tell you guys to stop that.
Hey, husband, I'm going to lock you in a ball.
Consider this our divorce.
I guess it's his ship as well. It's his ship, but it's also like, she locks him up and locks him up forever or whatever. But yeah, and we still haven't talked about Shield Worlds. We'll get into that too. There's I fucking love Halo lore, dude. The old Halo lore is so good.
This stuff could legit go on for just a whole streaming series just talking about Halo, because oh my god, there's so much.
Oh, there is, dude. Frickin', I'm glad we covered all the main things. I do want to say, think about the flood before. I want to actually talk about the Halo rings next, because they were they were basically cool. Last ditch efforts. Yep. But before that, I want to also mention, before we get into that, because I popped in my head and I'm gonna forget it because it's such a small little detail. But during the middle of I believe this is in Halo Evolutions, the book. Or is it Evolutions? Is that what it was called? I can't remember. Because
I know Evolutions was the anime.
I don't remember what this is called, but it was a bunch of side stories collected in a book. The Mona Lisa was one of those stories. I'll end with the Midnight of the whatever it was called. Those two were side stories.
The Midnight at Heart of
Midlothian.
I can't speak. Midlothian, there you go.
Heart of the Midlothian. So those stories were all from the side story. And one of the side stories in that book that I almost forgot about. So there was a Forerunner, there was a Forerunner who was doing research on a research station in a gas giant on these animals that could survive inside basically Jupiter's climate. which is insane to think about. Imagine seeing a bird that can survive in that climate. Well, they were doing research there. They didn't know those birds existed. They weren't sure they existed, but then he found out, yes, the birds are real. But as soon as they found out the birds were real, the flood found the research station.
Oh, shit.
And so they start infecting all the foreigners in this research station. So he realizes he needs to drop this research station from orbit. Or, like, he has to drop it. And basically like what we did to the research station in Halo 2. You know how we had to cut the wires and drop it into the gas giant? Yeah, the wire. I'm going to cut it. Basically, he had to drop the research station into the gas giant, the core of the planet, because these birds could survive in such harsh conditions, and he was like, if the Flood get access to this kind of survivability, they'll be unstoppable.
Oh, yeah, no, you gotta think, like, that would be completely just an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they can already survive the vacuum of space.
Mm-hmm.
They can already survive the vacuum of space. Now you add that weird bird DNA into them. Oh yeah, no, they're set.
Yep, and also, by the way, that there's a film or like there's something in the Halo extended lore, or like there was like I want to say it was a part of Halo Evolutions, the movie. There's a scene where Cortana's talking about the Flood, and she shows a scene of the Halo ring destroying the Flood, like basically Thanos snapping the Flood off the Forerunner ships. That doesn't happen.
I remember that.
That's not what the Halo rings do. They don't destroy the Flood. It's exactly what. Like, there's a reason why if you play Halo Wars, there is Flood on a planet, and that's because the Flood aren't erased. They just are starved to death. So it only kills their food. It doesn't destroy their biomass. That's what the Sentinels are there for. The Sentinels go out and vaporize all the biomass.
Yeah, basically. And it's not even just like, it's only certain types of Sentinels, because there's Sentinels for like different jobs. That's something people don't get, is that the Sentinels that we see, those are just the combat Sentinels.
Exactly.
There's Harvester Sentinels, there's Builder Sentinels. There's Sentinels for just about every job.
What is it? What is the name of the Is it Warden Sentinels? Is that the big ones, the big shields we see in Halo 2? What are they called?
I think they're called Juggernaut, or I think they are called Wardens.
Yeah, there are, and then there's Super Sentinels, but those are introduced in Halo Wars 2, so I don't know if they're canon.
I don't know.
I don't like considering I like imagining anything 343 created as non-canon.
I like to pick and choose, because there are some stuff that makes sense. But
like Lasky and the Infinity, I like to think those as canon because they're fucking badass.
The Banished too.
Dude, the Banished are okay. The Banished are actually something that 343 did right, but they did them wrong in Halo Infinite.
Oh, they did them so fucking dirty.
Did Halo, like, I don't know what they did wrong. Halo Wars 2 had such a good plot. I was like, oh my god, Halo Infinite's gonna be so good. But they should just have had Aatrox still be the leader. Lasky should have still been around. Like, we should have been able to fight them on the Halo ring, yes, but keep the, like, I understand why they had to get rid of the Infinity. The Infinity was such a badass ship that it probably would have mopped the floor with the, Banished leader's ship. But they decided to get rid of it, which bums me out, but at the same time, don't make humanity just lose. I don't like that.
I mean, the thing is, like, and I think I want to save this for when we actually, like, just rip Halo Infinite a new one, because it's them trying to, like, make humans into, like, a Mary Sue type of character, where we are infallible creatures who can always come on top no matter what the situation is, which isn't the case. Like, throughout the Bungie era, it showed like humans losing, and humans losing badly.
All the time, dude. I mean, yeah, we saw a lot of epic wins and victories, but there was a lot of losses. Like,
but a lot of the W's that we got were because of Spartans.
And mainly it was Halo 2. Mainly that was our big W. Because Halo 1, our only big W was, destroying the Halo ring. Halo 3, our big W, yes, was saving the universe. But Halo 2, we saw some epic fucking scenes, dude. Master Chief, the whole thing with him like grabbing the bomb from the freaking spaceship as he ejects himself into space.
That was cool as shit.
That is like the most action. That was cool as shit. Halo 2 is the most action like it's like an action movie. It's why I think Halo 2 is my favorite Halo game in terms of story. Always will be. I think the only two that come close are Halo 3 ODST and Halo Wars. And
Reach. I would say Reach.
I like Reach, but I actually don't think, like, for me also, I think Reach just made the story a bit too convoluted, because they kind of were trying, it almost felt like they were trying to retcon some of what happened in the Halo Fall of Reach book.
Yeah, because like in the Fall of Reach, Spartan 3s were not a thing, nor were Brutes.
No, Brutes weren't introduced yet, but well, I mean, that wasn't my big thing. My main thing that bugged me is that, like, where the Pillar Autumn is in terms of the story doesn't make sense anymore. The Pillar Autumn was supposed to be in space doing combat during the events of Fall of Reach, but then Reach said, "Oh, it's docked on this docking yard. Go deliver this."
Or Cortana, because I think Cortana was already on the Pillar of Autumn by the time.
Yeah. Thankfully, now people have made it less convoluted. They've like kind of like filled in the plot holes. Like, okay, so the Pillar of Autumn, after during the middle of a fight, comes and docks, but so that way a fragment of Cortana can be delivered to her.
Right.
It's weird. It's convoluted. I don't like it. It's my only reason I like. Otherwise, I really love Reach. I love the plot line. It's just I don't like what, like, I honestly wish they didn't try and tie it in unless they try to make sense of it and make it tie in, you know?
And so what's kind of cool about Reach is that it's the only game where we actually get to see the entirety of the UNSC military.
It is, yeah.
Because the UNSC Army, the UNSC Army takes center stage throughout the most of the game. And then space battle is done by the UNSC Air Force. And then the UNSC Navy, and then at the last of the game, it's the UNSC Marine Corps and the Navy.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, we see Spartans and ODSTs throughout the game.
Yep. And so I think it's like ODSTs, I think they're a universal, because I think they're kind of like delegated to like all of the UNSC, not just like the Marines and the Navy. I think it's also the Army as well.
Oh yeah.
Spartan 3s. I know Spartan 3s are Army. That's the Army's equivalent to the Spartan 2s. And the Spartan 2s are the
Navy,
Marines.
Right? Or the Marines.
Yeah. I think they're both. Maybe? I know they're just I think they're just walking, talking pieces of black tape.
Yeah. Also, red tape. As a fan, do you see the game? I'm assuming that it's like, do you want to see the game be more movie divergent, like Death Stranding or the new FF game, or more like the classic game, engaging action and short story? I personally think Halo should always be a short story. I know a hot take. I wish Halo hadn't been open world. I actually like Halo being one of the few games that I like linear, because of the fact that here's the nice thing about a linear game. With a linear game, you can go to different environments. So it's like, true. You can be in space one mission. You could be on the Halo ring another mission. You can be on the Ark another mission. You can be underwater in one mission in Halo 2. There's so many cool different places you can be if you actually do a linear game instead of just locking yourself to a set region.
Yeah, exactly. And like, Halo, I think, is a game series that best thrives in a linear story. Even like games like ODST. ODST is a sandbox, but it's also
it's still linear. Sandbox. It's still linear, yeah. I mean, you can technically do the missions in any order you want, but it's best played in order.
Yeah, because you get the full story.
Mm-hmm. And oh god, the audio logs are so fun to go find. Dude, that story.
I do love them.
Sadie's story. Oh, so good.
I love that.
So
and
good.
I feel bad for the rookie, though. If you read the novels, I feel so bad for the guy.
I've not read it, but I do know what happens because Xperia talked about it. And why do they kill him off in the books?
I don't know. It's fucking stupid. And then there's Mickey, who apparently is an insurrectionist now. Which, again, why?
It's just dumb. Mickey was awesome, dude. I don't like that, dude.
I don't, or the fact that Buck left that group to become a Spartan 4, which
Well, and then actually, I think that they extend like Halo Bad Blood. I think they actually by the end of it, I think Mickey rejoins the ODSTs. I think.
I don't know why. I don't think it's just like a simple, oh, teehee, sorry, I made a boo-boo. Can I join your group? It's like, no, you betrayed the UNSC and you literally just killed one of your former teammates. No, you can't join.
Yeah, either way, again, this is why as we slowly approach the 343 era, we're gonna start getting more and more heated because we've been chatting for about an hour and 45 minutes about what we love about Halo, and we haven't gotten to how much we hate it yet with the new stuff. We have a lot to say.
I think this is a good point to just jump in and just start ragging.
I mean, just. We very well could. Very well could. The last thing I wanted to mention, though, dude, the whole idea that there was originally 12 Halo rings, and they were bigger. They were like 30,000 kilometers wide, I believe.
Yeah, because like the ones that we see in the game are like a fraction of those sizes.
Yes, because so there were 2 arcs. Because if you remember the arc in Halo 3, that's the lesser arc. That's a smaller arc. Because what happened. So, Faber the Master Builder was like, we need a weapon to fight the Flood. And then he created the Halo rings. And he started making them. And despite how much the librarian hated it. And then she's like, well, at least let me use the Halo rings as a... Actually, I don't know if she wanted to store samples on the Halo rings. I think she did. I think she did, but she primarily put them on the greater arc and the lesser arc.
Yeah, and the... sarcophagus or whatever they were fucking called.
Yes,
Silexes.
Yeah, Silexes, which are basically the way how they can reboot the universe.
Yeah, I think they're like digitized like samples.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we see them in Halo Infinite, which was honestly cool to see. I will say that.
Yeah, that was actually kind of cool, and I think actually the first time we ever really get to see one is in guess what, Halo Evolutions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Halo Evolutions was during the library story.
That's it is one of the very few things I could say that's positive about Infinite.
Oh yeah, and so the lesser arc, the greater arc was the one that Faber used to build the 12 main Halo rings. I'm pretty sure that but what happened? So when he created them to fight the Flood, but as we had mentioned earlier, Mendicant bias turned against his creators thanks to Primordial. So what happened during a great meeting? There was a meeting going on in the capital, like the foreigner capital. And so what happened was Mendicant bias showed up one day. He just showed up during their big meeting, and he brought the 12 Halo rings with him.
Oh shit, I actually didn't know about that part.
He brought them with him, and he got ready to fire them.
Oh shit.
And so, I forget what happened, but during the ensuing fight, 11 of the 12 rings were destroyed. And the one that and they were able to recover one of them back from him, or recover one ring, and they took that back to the lesser arc because the greater arc was compromised or something. I forget what happened to the greater arc. Oh yeah, I think that what happened to the greater arc, remember how we mentioned the precursors had some powers? Yeah, they brought out some giant light tentacles and just literally destroyed the greater arc with the power of slip space travel.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with the precursors.
Yeah. So the greater arc was destroyed, but the lesser arc was still in an unknown location. So they took the last remaining Halo ring, and then they created 6 more, and they repaired that one, and that one becomes the I forget the name of it.
Well, technically,
Zeta Halo.
I was gonna say technically they made 13 because of the incomplete Halo.
Did they? I don't remember that.
Yeah, because remember, there's 12 Halo rings, and then there's that that 13th Halo ring that comes from the lesser arc that was supposed to replace Installation 07.
Okay, well, a whole lot of stuff happened. But either way, so the main point is the reason why there's 7 Halo rings is because they had to end up slowing them down because with the lesser arc they only could make 7. And because
that's right. There were 7 rings.
They made 6, and then they repaired the Zeta Halo. They took the parts from It's the only Halo ring that existed. It was the one with the Palace of Pain.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is the one we play on Halo Infinite, which sucks because they didn't have anything flood-related on Zeta Halo. Oh, we're going to get into that in a while.
And then they wanted to can any further DLC for, like, the campaign because...
Oh, yeah, they were like, hey, Halo Infinite, for 10 years, we're going to have DLC for this game. And then a year or two later, yeah, forget that. We're not having any more DLC. We're not going to ever release DLC for Halo Infinite. I'm never buying another 343 game. I'm never buying another one. No,
I'm not either.
Unless Bungie takes the head again, or some other studio.
Unfortunately, with my streaming series, I'm going to be playing every Halo game in chronological order. So that means I do have to play Infinite.
Well, Infinite is I will give it credit. The story kind of sucks, but the gameplay is fun.
Oh yeah, no, the gameplay is absolutely amazing. I love the gunplay.
They fixed their gameplay for the campaign.
It's so buttery smooth. It reminds me a lot of 3.
I still don't think though the multiplayer is that fun. I really don't.
It's boring.
It's very boring. There's no fun game modes. The custom games are like, it took forever for them to get forged in custom games. How long did it take them to get infection? Again, more things we'll definitely roast later. But so Halo rings created, Zeta Halo, badass, really cool. Could have been used for really, really cool lore reasons. Because it was where the flood, it's where the precursor, it's where the primordial was for a long while he was hanging out with Mendicant Bias. Like, goddamn, they could have done so much with that. But okay, so it was repaired, turned into one of the 7 Halo rings that we know today. And as you know, the Halo rings were created to combat the flood by destroying their food source. So they were fired. They're fired by the Isodidact. Although the Eurodidact was trying to stop him. I think, actually, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
So they fire the rings.
Primordial soup.
But there are shield worlds that the Foreigners also created, which was another way to protect people during when the rings were fired. It was to protect people if the rings had to be fired again. The reason I say again is because here's the thing about the Forerunners. They decided that they didn't deserve to live.
Yeah, because they were just like, yeah, maybe we were the assholes the entire time.
We caused the flood to be. We do not deserve to live. We brought about all of this. So you know what? We are going to do a self-sacrifice. We do not deserve to be here anymore. And so they fire the Halo rings. Of course, they trap the Didact in a shield world. The librarian does, because she doesn't want her husband to die. Or at least her old husband, or some. I don't fully get why she decides to let him live, especially when she has the Isodidact, her actual new husband who's been with her a bit longer now. But okay.
Because reasons.
But yeah, so they let the Didact live in Requiem. We find him Halo 4. Yeah, that happens. But, so, after the rings are fired, of course, the universe's reboot, all the Silexes are released, and we get the elites populating their world, the Ungoi, the Hunters, all of them all over the place. Of course, there's Chakas. I think it's funny because Chakas in the anniversary cutscenes, if you find the terminals, he says he thinks that they should have assigned 2 monitors per ring, so that way the ring, the monitors don't go rampant by not having one to talk to.
Yeah, because Chakas went a little nuts because of, loneliness, because he had, literally no one to talk to.
For over how many years? It was so, not decades, not centuries, millennia,
it was a few thousand years or so, but... So, he got so bored that he was jettisoning parts of Installation 04 out into space just to see how quickly the ring can recover.
Just to see how fast it recover,
bored he was.
And the thing is, he even did that to, because some alien life forms crash landed onto the ring, but they all died in the crash.
Yeah, they were called the meddlers.
Yeah, which I don't fully get their whole thing, but oh man. It's like that meme where the dude stares at another chick while the Jeep is beside her. She can't take the mind of her ex. OG husband, I guess, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
I wonder if
and like
I wonder how far behind
medlars
Freeman
were also
is.
kind of.
Because
Say what?
he might be behind. I wonder if he's behind because we talked about that like 10 minutes ago. I think 5 minutes ago, 10
I
minutes.
think
ago.
it might be just. I think that might be the location though, because I know sometimes whenever I'm streaming, I'm a little behind on like phone on like the phone.
That's
if I'm like
true.
if I'm watching stuff on like my cell phone.
True. But you know, so he Jensen's off that dude lost his mind, dude. Freaking lost his mind. Eventually, eventually, lasers and kills Johnson, like the little asshole he is. Somehow he fucking survives being blown up, though.
And then he gets a robot body, and then he's just like palling it around throughout the stars with like a new group of like friends,
And
which
humans
is really stupid.
and aliens. It's weird, yeah. He actually survives, and then he basically joins a human and goes on an adventure in the universe.
It's like
you're a slow
Galaxy,
typer. Gotcha.
dumber.
Okay, just a slow typer.
It's like Guardians of the Galaxy, except dumber.
Yep,
A lot more dumber.
Dude, the freaking reading how Master Chief becomes a Spartan. The Spartan training program was hard. And the fact they were kidnapped at age 6, Jesus.
And, oh yeah, no, like, here's the thing, is that there was like, I want to say 112? No, I think like 200 something kids that were kidnapped. And out of them, only like 100 plus, if not 96 children survived.
Well, here's the thing. Some of them survived, but most of them became crippled.
Yeah.
And one of them is Lasky's mom. Lasky's mom,
funny.
I don't know if you knew this, Lasky's mom is a
I actually
former
didn't.
Spartan too. She was from the dropouts because she was crippled, but her mind and stuff, she was skilled enough that she was able to convince them to let her work at Oni, and she became one of the big wigs at Oni.
That's actually kind of funny. Because
Really
that would
cool.
mean she's one of the... Because I know there was like a Spartan who retired and she became a mom.
Yeah, and then and then I believe she lent her Mark 6 armor to Master Chief.
Yeah, she did the test run for the Mark 6 armor and gave it to Master Chief.
Exactly. Yeah, really cool. Real cool side lore that was just dropped
I
out.
just want to know, like, when you're going down on a Spartan, is it like death by snoo snoo? I mean, think about it. Like, their bones are like carbonated, not carbonated. I think that's what it is, carbonated. Either way, they have like carbonized bones.
Bro, I'd let Cat go down on me any day. I know that's a Spartan 3, but still.
I mean, like, good luck, because if she can't drive a vehicle, how do you think she's gonna do that?
Oh, that's funny.
Wink.
Oh man, frickin'.
But yeah, no, like I kind of okay. So do you know like the death by snoo snoo meme?
Yeah, from Futurama.
I want to get the oh no, where it's like death.
But there's the song. There's
by
the song.
snoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of want to get that, but it's like Cal 141. And it's just it's O'Brien just going like death by snoo.
But yeah,
because like it like legitimately is, because even female Spartan 2s, they're like 7 feet tall.
I'm glad that they haven't made too many Spartan 2s yet. It is weird, that Spartan Red team exists because like they were never mentioned in the books. But I will say Jerome's a badass.
Oh no, Jerome's a beast.
Jerome's awesome. Like, I honestly think Jerome's pretty cool.
He legit took a blow from Atriox and like shrugged it off.
Yeah, dude. You want to know who's even cooler though? Sergeant Forge. Fucking love Sergeant Forge, dude.
Oh yeah, no, like his fight between him and Ripamormi. Oh god, that was badass.
Dude, Halo. I know Bungie hates Halo Wars 1. They hated it because they were basically not allowed to touch Halo Wars, and that like, despite the fact it was basically
Bungie or 343.
Bungie.
Really?
The first Halo Wars. Basically Microsoft, without asking Bungie, were like, "Hey, you guys who are making this cool RTS game, make that Halo, please." Like,
which is funny because Halo was originally going to be an RTS.
Yeah, and then so they were forced to make Halo Wars, and they're like, "Hey, Bungie, could we get some advice on what we should do? Could we get some assets, and also could we get help with the music?" And Bungie was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, basically.
This is our game.
Like,
how dare you?
Like Bungie were very, very protective over Halo for like the longest time. Now they're like, fuck it.
And you know what? It bums me out that was the case, but I still fucking love Halo Wars. I love it.
Oh yeah, no, I love Halo Wars. It's
Dude,
I
love the story.
They got like the fact that they got Weta Studios, the people who were behind big name blockbuster cinemas like Lord of the fucking Rings to do the cutscenes for Halo Wars is just chef's kiss.
Oh man, and dude, freaking blur cutscenes in Halo Wars 2, and Halo 2 Anniversary, so good. Just blur cutscenes were so good.
Because those were the people who made. Actually, no, they weren't Weta. They were somebody else. Because I know they did like the animatics for World of Warcraft.
I want to say that Blur actually did do the original Halo Wars 2, but I could be wrong.
I could be. I'll have to look that up then.
I don't remember though, but of course they definitely got better over time.
Now I kind of want to see them do Halo 3 with those kind of graphics, but we ain't gonna get that. We ain't gonna get that.
Oh man!
Because for some reason, 343 is allergic to doing like an anniversary edition of Halo 3.
I know, right? I mean, a lot of people say it doesn't really need it because the graphics still hold up to this day, and they do for the most part.
They do, but like if the other two games got it, then come on.
Do it for the trilogy. Like, this is why I hate 343 being a church, but that's why, modders are going to mod Halo 3 and give it the graphics that we all want.
Exactly. Because, like, honestly, I would love to see what it would look like in, like, these hyper-realistic, detailed graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Because fun fact is that Bungie based a lot of their artwork on Halo off of 90s anime.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So that's why if it looks like it kind of looks like anime, that's mainly because it was.
Dude, it's so good, dude. Also, can I just say the side story, was it Ghosts of Onyx? Real good story.
Ghosts of Onyx was
the origin of Spartan 3s, and that whole, there's like a trilogy, right? It's like Ghosts of Onyx, Lastlands, Headhunters.
Kurt is a fucking beast, and he goes out like a fucking beast.
Yes, he does. He really does.
What's funny is that he's so fucking tall. He's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
He's gargantuan for a Spartan.
Yeah, dude, Kurt was awesome.
He's a Spartan 3 too. He's not even a Spartan 2. He's a Spartan 3.
Exactly.
Which means
no. He was a Spartan 2.
Was he a Spartan 2?
Kurt was a Spartan 2. That's the whole reason that he was a Spartan 2, and that's the whole reason that when the guy who was like rivals with Halsey, because there's a guy, I don't remember his name, but there was a scientist who was rivals with Halsey. He basically he hired the old sergeant that trained Master Chief, the old lieutenant, and then he found Kurt.
Mendez?
Yeah, Mendez. And he was like, "Hey Mendez, you're going to train Spartan 3s for me." And then
there was June, because they retconned June into this as well.
And then they got June actually came. Well, June came. That was a Spartan 4 training program, not Spartan 3.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because June is a Spartan 3.
Yeah,
that's right.
Kurt is a Spartan 2 that Mendez was like, "Hey, this guy that's rebels with Halsey wants to make a Spartan program. Come help us."
Which is funny because I think he's like one of 2 Spartan 2s that actually openly like helped out the Spartan 3 program. The other one was George. Yeah,
George, pretty much. No, with Noble Team.
Yeah, and then Kelly and Fred, I think.
Mendez was an ass, but he was a good freaking drill instructor, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, he was. Like, if you read the Fall of Rage novel, he was a good drill instructor.
Drill instructor, but an asshole.
Oh yeah, and then Fred and Kelly, I think, well, they didn't help out. They were more of like Halsey's bodyguards.
Dude, I wish we could have seen I wish we could have had a parallel timeline or a parallel Halo game. Imagine if Sam had survived all this time and like was like a duo with Master Chief.
Oh my god, that'd be a beast.
Because Sam went out so sad. He was like the first Spartan casualty against the Covenant.
And he was only 14 years old.
And the only reason he died is because his suit, like at the time, the Mjolnir armor didn't have like an oxygen system or like.
And I will give, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm also going to give the Halo live action series credit too, because People don't realize, like, when you get hit with a plasma round, that shit melts through shit. Like, if you get shot in the arm and you're not wearing, like, steel, or not steel, but like an energy shield or something like that, you don't have an arm anymore.
Exactly.
That shit's melted. Like, that stuff is completely, utterly melted.
Oh man, exactly.
I think that's honestly one of the only. No, that's only of like two things I will give the live action series credit for.
Yeah.
The other one being that they replaced the Jackal's cutlasses from Blamite crystals to just energy cutlasses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because if you read it, because
they're pirates.
The novels. Well, yeah, because Jackals are technically part of the Covenant. They're just paid to be part of the Covenant.
Yeah, they're basically just mercenaries.
And so in the novels, Jackals actually have cutlasses made out of Blamite or the Needler crystals.
Yeah.
But in the live action TV series, they changed it to energy cutlasses, which honestly, that's kind of a good change. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually
that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Because if you get scraped by a Blamite crystal, you explode.
Oh yeah.
But I prefer the energy cutlasses.
Dude, the Mona Lisa is the most terrifying flood story, though.
Oh god, I love the Mona Lisa so fucking much. And then like the motion comic that comes that follows with it. Oh god,
YouTube, yeah, you can just sit there and it's literally free. Just go on YouTube, look up Halo Mona Lisa, watch it. It's like an hour and a half or something. It's a good watch. It's a full-on movie basically, and it's it's terrifying. It's terrifying.
It is absolutely fucking horrific.
It's just a horror of what happens to people who are stuck in a freaking flood outbreak.
Oh god, yeah, no. Also,
they were repairing the ship.
Do you mind if I take like a quick little pee break?
I'll go right ahead. Go right ahead.
You mind if we take like a small little break to get something to drink and?
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab something to eat real quick. So we'll be right back, everybody.
We'll be right back, everybody. So. Ugh.
Sorry. I would play ads if I had the ability to. Can't do that though. Oh my god, dude. I'm trying to think about everything else I want to mention now while he's still getting stuff. Because there's a lot of good other lore, dude. Halo's so good on lore. Halo's lore is one of the most interesting things I've ever, like, watched and read and played over the years. Oh, man. Thank you for welcoming me back. Grarrl is just taking a nap real quick. And I'm snacking on some dried apricots. Ah. Man, I freaking love Halo, dude. It's so good. The Halo universe is one of the most interesting things I've ever freaking partook in. I'll forever love this series, honestly. I think it's about time, though. So now that I've mentioned everything I want to gush over, it's time to talk shit about... Time to talk shit about the Halo 3 era. I mean, the 343 era. As soon as Grarrl gets back. To me, though, it really does anger me, the different choices they've made with Infinite. Like, they announced co-op. They didn't have co-op at launch. They announced split-screen co-op. They then retconned that and said, we don't have enough time to make it. We don't have enough time. How about you invest less time in how many cosmetics you can separate and charge us for, and invest that time into making the freaking features that should be in the game from the beginning.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back. I've started my shit on 343 era now.
Oh, good.
Because I just talked shit about how, you know, it sucks how, despite the fact they complained about not having enough time to make co-op or split-screen co-op at launch, we can't do that for you guys. They had plenty of time.
Now we're talking 4 or 5 or Infinite.
Infinite. And then how they also say... like, they go and say, we don't have enough time. We didn't have time to make co-op. We don't have time to make split-screen co-op. We can't do it. No, they spent too much time making... They spent way too much time coming up with ways how they could charge us 500 times for the same shade of red.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to spend $25 fucking dollars just for the shade of blue. And so the one thing I kind of figured that this game was in some serious trouble was when they sat there and like, oh, well, we're going to remove color customization. And I'm sitting here like looking at it, I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
343, do you want to run that by me one more time? You're taking what out exactly?
I was so upset when I heard that.
That was kind of the staple of the game since Halo 2.
Yeah. Not even that. Not even that. Halo 1. Because you could pick your color in Halo 1.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could pick your color in Halo 1, but, like, you were more detailed in Halo 2, where you could pick out, you know, your emblem, your secondary color. You can pick out your primary color.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, it's like you wanted to take out what?
I'm curious about all the things you've been holding back that you want to shit on.
Oh my god, yes. First of all, let's go with the campaign. Let's start with the campaign. Because the main problem I have with the campaign is that they tried way too fucking hard to sweep Halo 4 and 5 under the rug. To the point where you might as well just reboot the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Like immediately, what happens? Oh, the Infinity gets destroyed right out the gate.
Yeah,
apparently Palmer's dead, which I see nothing wrong here.
Why? You know what? Why didn't they just do what Red versus Blue is doing and just retcon everything? Because Red versus Blue is like, oh, it was all a simulation. Just do that for literally. You could do that with Halo Infinite. I mean, just Halo in general. Just be like, Master Chief just wakes up from his nap. He finally wakes up.
Or here's the thing I also find really stupid is that Cortana blew up Doisac, the Brute's homeworld, and their entire star system.
Yeah.
Which, in the new novel, spoiler for the new novel, apparently Cortana blew up the Brute's home star system.
Mm-hmm.
because she was being a little bitch.
Unless there's not been a new novel forever, I don't think that's a new novel.
Oh no, yeah, no, it's a new novel. It just came out like a couple of days ago.
Well, no, not this story about blowing up Doysack. I heard this story. I heard this 2 years ago.
Yeah. No. Like, well, no, the whole star system that actually just came out.
Oh, that part, but blowing up their homeworld was an old fact.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one was learned in Halo Infinite. Because Aatrox,
I feel like going to the star system just doesn't change much, honestly. So whoever wrote that that's pointless.
Yeah, it's like you already blew up their home planet. What
good comes from destroying the solar system? I'm just gonna consider that not canon. You know what? Again, I'm just not gonna consider anything 343 put out for the most part canon, except for the parts I like.
And people feel sorry, and like I always hear this a lot because people feel bad for the pilot, the Esparza. People feel bad for Esparza. Oh, well, he's such a good character. No, he's not. He's a shitbag. He's a fucking shitbag.
Why say that?
So Esparza sat there and said, like, "Oh, I'm not a soldier. I just snuck aboard the Infinity." Do you know what that's called? That's called stolen valor. That's called stolen valor. Like, this dude literally, basically, was cosplaying as a fucking soldier, and I guess no one on the Infinity looked at it and said, "Hey, we have an extra dude that's not in our records." Like, did no one ever take a look at it?
You think the future will be able to identify that a lot quicker?
And this isn't just like, oh, well, this is just like a random, podunk, UNSC frigate. No, this is the Infinity, the most well-guarded, kept secret of the UNSC, especially now with Cortana and her created.
Which are dumb.
Which is so dumb. And that's
it was so dumb. It was so dumb that 343 immediately retconned it in Infinite.
Yeah, like that. I guess Cortana's now super dead.
Oh my god!
Apparently, she's now super fucking dead.
And there's a second Cortana now.
Who they tried way too hard for her to be Cortana without any of the charm. Yeah, like Cortana was kind of quirky and awkward, but she also had charm to her.
She had charm, and she was stuck up. She's confident.
Yeah,
and she's cocky, dude. She like freaking her whole thing where she goes like her old Cortana had so many good lines, dude.
Oh yeah, no, and then like the weapon. It's like they try to recreate Cortana, but yet they forgot what made Cortana. Yeah. And you can tell they are desperate to like recapture that awe and like wonder of the original trilogy with Infinite. You can tell they tried so hard to recreate the Trinity that they had going on, human forerunner or human flood covenant. But then they have something stupid like the Endless.
It's like no. Just
no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit.
No.
And so like when you see like throughout the game you find all these dead Spartans, and you find the one Spartan that's getting tortured and he dies in Master Chief's arms. I'm sorry, but whenever I was looking, I'm like, I don't even know you. I'm supposed to feel bad. Like, I'm sorry, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, and the issue is you didn't even find all the audio logs about that guy until much later in the game, and then you could finally maybe care about him.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, but I don't know who the hell you are. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm supposed to feel bad, but like, why?
Thing is, you wanna know what's funny? 343 tries to make you feel bad about a Spartan's death. Bungie would make you feel sorry for your captain's death, for your sergeant's death, for just side characters' deaths. Dude, Miranda Keyes' death, sad. Johnson, sad. Captain Keyes, especially after you read the lore, even sadder. But it was sad even the first moment of the game, just knowing what happened to him.
Terrible.
Just like, and now that we can't care about characters the way we used to.
No, and I'm glad apparently Locke's dead, which, again, I see nothing wrong here. I don't see a loss anywhere. I kind of see this as kind of a W because no one cared about Locke.
No, he was interesting to follow in Nightfall. I will say that. And I looked it up. I looked it up. So Forward Unto Dawn was the first live action series, the one about Lasky, which showed off his Oni mom, which is, again, it's a good. If you have not seen it, I actually recommend it. Give it a watch sometime. It's actually a really good live action Halo, really well made, like high quality. There was hunters and elites that were actually scary. Then there's Nightfall, which was about Locke, and he was going around. There was Legolo worms, if you know what the Legolo are.
Yeah, the hunters.
Yeah, really cool stuff.
Which again, sounds cool. But then there's also the live action series that, again.
Oh, I want to hear how much do you want to rag on that?
Oh, I can rag on that all day.
I watched 2 episodes with my family. Like, hey, Halo's on, come watch. And I sat down. I was like, okay, this episode is kind of bad. Maybe the next one will be interesting.
I saw the trailer and I instantly hated it because I'm sitting there going like, why is there like a clearly like 10 Ford Chevy pickup truck in the middle of fucking Halo?
Dude, why would they have Master Chief take off his goddamn helmet in a fucking TV show?
It's not the fact that I don't care that he took off his helmet. It's the fact of how frequently he takes off his helmet. Because in lore, he only takes it off when he's around people he is comfortable with.
Exactly. And even then, it's just like, in general, he only takes it off when he's not, at war.
Exactly. But, like, even here... And also, like, he doesn't act like an unhinged psychopath. Like he's a refined soldier, because like the chief would not sit there and like pummel an elite's face in until it's nothing but paste. He actually had self-control by the time the Covenant War came around.
Dude, oh god, Halo's getting the Velma treatment.
The developer treatment?
The Velma.
Oh, Velma. Oh yeah, no, just
What is up with fucking companies trying to ruin old things that people love?
I don't know. And then there's like the multiplayer, which the multiplayer's got so many damn issues.
NetherRealm Studios, I'm praying that they never go for a bad, let bad content go out, because they've just put it like Mortal Kombat. Like, I forgot how good the lore of Mortal Kombat is until like last week. I've started becoming obsessed with Mortal Kombat because, dude, when I played Deception as a kid, I loved that game. Good story.
Oh yeah, no, like it then like it got so damn convoluted with the time travel stuff.
And Mortal Kombat 10 was very convoluted, and 11. I heard about 11. 10 was weird.
Oh, and also, no, you're good, Freeman. You're good. You have no background on Halo, so sorry. No, you're fine. You're fine. Like
we're just nerds. We're hardcore nerds. That's the issue.
Oh, and also, did you know that 343 was originally going to give the elites tongues?
Oh my god.
Yeah, like there are actual like footages of like little test featurettes of like the finished, obviously not textured, but like finished like base models of the 343 era style elites, and they had tongues.
To be honest, I wish they didn't give all the aliens their own language. I miss wart.
I do kind of like the language that they give them. Especially the grunts. I mean, it's funny. It's hilarious to hear it.
I guess.
Which fun fact is that in Combat Evolved, all the elites dialogue is actually just Sergeant Johnson.
Yeah, Sergeant Johnson reversed. Yep.
And so the infamous wart is
actually go.
Yeah, so it's just og.
Yeah.
I love that. Also, did you know originally elites were gonna have tails?
Where are they? I can see it. I can see it.
They were originally gonna have tails. But Bungie erased that because they were like, yeah, that looks a little
I just imagined you with a split jaw. I looked at you and I imagined a split jaw.
It's like that looks a little sus when they're trying to ride a vehicle with their tails in between their legs.
Yeah,
That's the reason.
yeah.
That's literally the whole reason why they cut it.
Oh man.
Now, and I will say this though. Um, 343 did make the Elite's original 99 designs canon, where they had the fish heads.
Oh man, can I just say, Keith Davidson. Keith David's such a good freaking voice actor, dude. Freaking
Oh god, yeah.
Tartarus, the prophets betrayed us.
I love that line so much. Like, just God, I love Keith David. Like, the dude can read me the phone book, and I will absolutely just melt.
It's like him, Morgan Freeman are real good voice actors. Even got freaking like I think the voice actor played Johnson was another really iconic. And also, you cannot replace what's his name? It's Steve something. Who voices
Steve Downs.
Steve Johns. Oh my god,
Just
so good.
Oh yeah, no, it's funny thing is that I think Steve Downs has actually admitted that he's never played a single game.
You guys ever played a single Halo game?
I think he has actually said he has never played a single Halo game.
Oh man.
See, I love how we're just going like we're trying so hard not to get angry. Because it's like
Halo could have kept being a good game, but they just shat on it. They made it a bad game. Call of Duty is doing better now, dude. I've been seeing clips of their new games, their new stories. They've remade what they reboot Modern Warfare or something. I've been seeing clips on my YouTube Shorts. Oh my god, the story sounds so good.
It looks so good, and
I wish Street Fighter 3 had that, man.
And I think it's mainly because like Microsoft kind of made a team of people who actually never really intended to like Halo. I think that was their biggest problem.
Well, that's how Velma was created. They got a team together who doesn't like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, and the other thing was that basically Infinite was kind of damned at birth because they decided that they wanted... So Microsoft wanted to go cheap. I think it was both Microsoft and 343, but they wanted to go cheap. And they wanted to hire contractors instead of actual like hiring people who are qualified for the job. And so you would have...
I'm so sick of that. Companies are doing that nowadays. They'll hire a third party who will hire a third party. That way they don't actually have to hire people on officially.
Yeah. So you know...
I hate society, dude!
You know, breaking VTuber immersion here, but like I used to do contract work. And so people do it because it's cheap. Why would you want to hire someone around the clock when you could just have a rotating door of people that you can pay for half the price? And the problem here is that you have different people coming in with different, styles and whatnot that they're trying to smash in together, and it just doesn't work.
Nope.
But like the thing that really makes me mad is that Infinite is there. The art style is just there. It's so good. It's classic Halo. You know what I'm saying? It's the Halo that I knew.
Their only issue is they just want to make money, so they don't care about making the main story, about making DLC, about split screen co-op, about adding infection until months or years. I feel like how long?
And even about like a year or two later, actually. Even then, it's a half-ass like compromise where people wanted flood. They wanted the flood infection. So they're like, no, we're not going to do that because we're trying to be rated T for teen. So we'll have like an infected AI.
Was Halo Infinite released? Let me look this up. Halo Infinite was released 2021. Infection wasn't added until so Halo
almost 2 years ago.
Halo Infinite was released November 15th, 2021. Infection as a game mode wasn't released until June 20th, 2023.
Yeah.
This company.
And here's another thing is that 343 also kind of just wants to chase trends. They do. They want to chase the trend. So the most trendy thing to do is battle passes. and pay to wins, and it like their whole model is so ridiculous.
Dude, can you imagine how much more money they'd be making if they made just a classic Halo?
They would make bank.
They'd make bank. They just don't think they would. Because the thing is, they would though. People want to play the old stuff. Like, you can add new mechanics, sure, but just keep the heart of Halo.
Well, it's why they made Forge so ridiculously expansive, is because they were like, well, we're tired of trying to fix our game, so why not just have people fix the game for us? And it's so ridiculous.
I'm so sad. Like, companies I respect ruining things I love. It's like Pokemon downhill. Like, ever since Black and White 2 came out, it's just like, okay, no, I liked X and Y. I did like X and Y.
Was great.
I liked X and Y, and I haven't liked Alpha Ruby or Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. I did like those two.
I love the Mega Evolutions. I want more Mega Evolutions.
I hated them at first, but now I'm a bit nostalgic for them. But it's like cool. Those were good remakes. Those were fun remakes. You know, like those actually, like, I wish that we could have got that kind of treatment for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Rama, it's a complete cop out. It's a complete cop out.
What is?
How? Just infection.
Yep.
And there's other things too, like how they handled fans wanting playable elites.
Oh my god, Halo Infinite has lost about 98% of its initial player base on Steam ever since its multiplayer component launched.
Yeah. I mean, I've played it a few times. I was actually playing it, I think last week or something. And it's a bitch to find a matchmaking game.
I don't doubt it, because nobody wants to play it.
Because no one's playing it. No one's fucking playing it. Everyone's playing the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, that's actually I'm very curious. Like, is there a way for me to look at I think so. Let me look Halo Infinite player count, and I'm gonna look up. So Steam charts, Halo Infinite's player count says 32 minutes ago 5,656 people. So all-time peak was 256,000. So they at launch they had 250,000 people playing more people playing Halo Infinite. Now they only have about 5,000. Now I'm gonna I'm gonna look up Halo MCC player count. I bet you it's higher.
It's not.
It's not 5,000.
Really?
So about 600 people are playing Halo Infinite more.
That's surprising.
An all-time peak for Halo Master Chief Collection on Steam is 93,000. At once.
That's not bad per se.
No.
But that's actually kind of surprising, because every time I play the Master Chief Collection, I'm always finding multiplayer games.
Yeah.
But at the same time, also, they still haven't fixed shit with Infinite.
Next time I get on my talks, by the way, we need to make it not revolve around Halo. I hardly asked you about yourself or anything in this episode, but that's just because
Oh no, you're good. Legitimately, I am having an absolute blast talking about Halo.
Halo is such a blast to talk about, dude. It's just sad that, it's just gonna be a nostalgia trip, and it's like oh god, I just saw a screenshot of Forward Unto Dawn. That's another thing that annoys me, that they changed the freaking ship that you were they changed how the ships looked like in Halo 4.
Yeah, no, they wanted to reboot the whole. And also, here's another thing that also kind of annoys me, is that they clearly want to work on other games, but yet they don't have the balls to do it. So they have what about this what if armor that we are going to put in the samurai armor. It's let's put in this samurai armor. This is a what if scenario. Isn't that quirky? Yeah, Bungie already did it. It's called the Hayabusa armor. It's canon.
Exactly. I like the plot of Ultra Sun and Moon, but the gameplay not that much. But I did like the Pokédex. So there's some cool Pokemon. Sun and Moon was all right. I liked it, but it wasn't like X and Y was just that last time a Pokemon game was like X and Y was last time a Pokemon game felt
like
fun
a Pokemon
to play.
game.
Yeah.
They felt like a legit.
Oh, and Alpha Ruby and Omega Sapphire. Those two as well. But those were remakes, so that was kind. I just think of X and Y as the last original main title, I guess, because after that came Sun and Moon, and Sun and Moon was
okay.
It was okay. It wasn't bad yet, but it wasn't. Dude, Hop though. Hop, no, I hated Hop.
No,
I hated Hop.
That was not a rival. You were the rival.
At least with X and Y, you had multiple rivals. I guess they were all friends, but it was kind of cool you could battle each of them.
Oh yeah, no, but Hop, no, and then it just gets dumber and dumber and dumber.
The only good thing about Nimona is she's a tomboy.
Yes, and I love the memes from her. And I will say this though, I kind of like Solgaleo.
The legend was cool.
I like it mainly because it looks like Liger Zero, and I'm a huge Zoids fan. So.
Let's see. Wait. This is fun to listen to. Awesome. Who cares about it being nostalgia trip? It's still fun to talk about. Well, I'm glad you like listening to this. I very much appreciate that. I was a bit worried that we'd lose viewership in this, but we surprisingly haven't. People have been here listening to us nerd out about Halo for the past 3 hours.
People like it. People like hearing people nerd out about their passions.
One of these days, I'm gonna next week on Tuesday, I'm gonna be doing a talk show where I'm gonna let people come on every 30 minutes and swap people out. Kind of like
I'd love to be a part of that.
Yeah, I want to try it out and see what it would be like if I get multiple guests on one talk show episode, and just so it could be a bit chaotic, hopefully.
I'm all for chaos. You should see some of my streams. I'm all for chaos.
It'd be also a fun way to get me to incorporate some of my friends that I want to make content with, but just haven't been.
It honestly sounds like a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to be quite honest, I actually just had an absolute blast. I don't care if I got caught up in just gushed over Halo. It's not every day where I really get to do this.
Yeah, especially probably with another VTuber.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I feel like not many VTubers are Halo addicts or Halo lore nerds.
I know there's a couple. in the Dino VTuber community.
Oh man.
There's my very good friend Damien Verde. He's a paleontologist VTuber, and my other very good friend Cardin, who's a Mosasaur VTuber.
Ah.
She's the only Mosasaur VTuber.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
She's an absolute sweetie. She also loves Halo. She sadly always kicks my ass in Halo.
Dude, I need to host another Halo community game night one of these days. And again, the invites will go out to everyone in my friends list, and for them to invite their streamer friends.
Oh yeah, no, I could totally see if these guys want to join in. Because here's the thing with me and multiplayer. I'm really good, but my problem is that I get really fucking cocky. Because I'm man, I'm cruising, I'm beating everyone's ass, and I'm in last.
Dude, jump rope is my favorite thing to play with people on Halo Reach custom games. It's so fun.
God, I love jump rope. But honestly, my favorite thing to play in Halo multiplayer in general is SWAT.
SWAT is fun. I like it. I loved it growing up, but I feel like I don't know if that'd be as much fun with your friends. Playing against them, that is. Playing with them, sure. Playing against them,
no. I mean, it's going to be aggravating as all.
And it's going to get sweaty. Because it's one-shot kills to headshots, you know?
But that's the fun part. But I think it's if you're playing, with your friends, I think maybe, Oddball, King of the Hill, Slayer. Yeah. Everyone loves a good game of Slayer.
Also, Ranma in chat said something interesting. Not gonna lie, I think Nemona's legit the best rival after Blue/Gary. I hated Hop and Howl. I forgot Sword Shield rival. I kind of do agree for the most part. I think that... Here's the thing. I think that the only rivals I actually like... It's funny. I used to think Gary was the only rival. Gary/Blue was the only rival that felt like a rival because I got so annoyed by the others. May was like a childhood friend, not a rival. We had who was who was Johto? It was Silver, whatever his name was.
Yeah, Silver.
He was alright, but he was a
was
bit
like
too
Silver.
annoying. Yeah, he was a little too. It wasn't actually. It was something. It was his name was something. But he, Giovanni's kid. He was meh. Then of course we have Barry. Barry was fucking annoying. I'm not gonna lie. But then, it's funny. I was one of the people who was on the hate train for Black and White until I did a Nuzlocke on it like 2 or 3 years ago. And I fell in love with it. I was like, what the fuck was wrong with me? This game is amazing. The Pokemon are so fun to play. And the story is insanely good. Like, I was skipping through the cutscenes at first. And then as the game went on, I kept going slower and slower in the cutscenes. Because I'm like, damn, the story is good.
See, I can't do Nuzlocks.
I can do them half the time. But once I start losing too many Pokemon, I get stressed out.
I do too. Like, I get attached to my Pokemon. Like I do, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do this.
Well, that's why in a Nuzlocke there's so many I have not finished because I lose a Pokemon I really care about and like runs dead.
Yeah, and you're just like, do I really want to continue?
Dude, I beat Pokemon Black and White with a single Pokemon because I beat Getsus with a single whatever the last is it Mandibuzz? What is it called?
Mandibuzz.
Is that the last evolution?
Yeah.
So
the vulture.
Yeah, Mandibuzz.
Yeah, Mandibuzz.
Was the last Pokemon I had on my team. I lost my starter early on. I lost my starter in like right before the forest you go through, near the beginning of the game. So I lost it like right before or after the grass gym, or not grass gym. That was because that was Silent. That would have been my first gym, I think. Actually, no, it would have been my second, wouldn't it? I don't know anymore because I'm
it's
trying to remember.
It's been a while since I played like Black and White.
But I picked Tepig and my starter died real quick.
And then I chose Samurott.
Samurott's a good one. Snivy's also cool.
I'm also just like a huge fan of like Japanese culture and Japanese aesthetics, so I'm more privy to Samurott. I'm a weeb, as the kids say.
But yeah, I think the rivals in Black and White were really good rivals, though. They were really fun. Yeah, no, they felt like friends and rivals. Like Silent, whatever his name was, felt like a rival, and the other girl felt like a friend you were kind of cheering on, even though she kept losing.
She's just doing her best.
She's doing her best, even if her dad is basically is not supportive of her. And then, of course, there was a sequel game, which I never beat, but I started playing through it privately, and I was like, the story's just as good.
Yeah, I've played Black 2 and White 2.
I really want to play through it. But big thing is to me, I want to eventually do I want to do one of those narratives where I narrate the first time I ever beat a Nuzlocke and narrate over my journey through Black.
Do a dramatic reading of it.
I don't know about dramatic, but I could. I will say though.
And then I struggled. I struggled to get past the first gym. I lost many Pokemon that day, and I cried many, many tears, and I regretted my life choices up to this point. But I did it.
Let's see. I feel like you could do a very good perfect Cell impression, by the way, like from Dragon Ball Abridged.
Oh, you think so?
I think so. I
gotta think of like a good Cell line, because fun fact is that I'm actually an amateur voice actor.
Oh, are you?
Oh yeah, I used to do like voice acting projects like way back in the day. I mean, this also kind of goes into the segue of just like who I am.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I used to be a voice actor. I did some voice acting projects like way back in the past. I did Papyrus for some Undertale projects. I'm trying to think of some other ones I did. Shadow, I did some Sonic dubs in the past. Not anything like super like big or anything, but just like small little projects here and there. And I also did some effect works here and there for some smaller projects. I had my little T-Rex hands have been in a lot of things.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But and I could also do. I'm also very known for my Carl Weezer voice.
Really?
Oh yeah, because like it's a very popular redeem on my channel. I have to talk just like this for about 5 minutes. Hi, Judy. I'm on a talk show, Jimmy.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All I got is freaking salad fingers. Rusty spoon. I like to touch them with
That's
my
pretty good.
salad fingers.
That's actually pretty good.
Also, I found
I like it.
there's a lot of good cell lines I'm looking at.
I was gonna say like I could try. I've actually never really tried cell before.
Let's see. So I found a perfect cell quote. I think it goes, but that's just I found it's a very boring one. It just says, "I am perfect, and you will quote everything I say."
I'm perfect, and you can quote anything I say.
I don't know about that one. Let's see. Let's see.
I'm just remembering Cell versus One Punch Man. It's like, all right there, Caillou. Let me see what you got.
Oh man. Let's see. I'm trying to find a good one, but I'm trying to see. Oh wait, oh my god, I forgot that one of his lines is, "At first you had my curiosity, but now you have my erection."
First you have my curiosity, now you have my erection.
You definitely should give it a try. Listen to, have you ever watched Dragon Ball Abridged?
Oh, of course.
It's so good. I freaking
just...
No! I saw a bird. It was pretty.
I saw a bird. It was pretty.
Kick its ass.
That is all.
I could
also do Mr. Popo.
That's pretty good.
Hi, maggots.
All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle.
Oh my god.
At least you guys can do impersonations. The only impersonation I can do is a realistic dog bark.
I mean, some people like that.
I will say, my voice is killing me, so I think I'm gonna have to call it here. We've been chatting.
Honestly, I'm just having a fucking blast.
I am too. We definitely gotta do this again sometime. Who knows? Maybe we'll nerd out about Teen Titans.
Oh my god, I love Teen Titans.
Or Ben 10, dude. Who knows?
Oh god, I haven't seen Ben 10 in so fucking long.
Dude, I rewatched the original Ben 10 like 5 or 6 years ago, and I was like, damn, the original Ben 10's even better than Alien Force.
I'm gonna be real, I've only seen the original Ben 10 series. I haven't seen anything else.
Alien Force is still good. It's a more serious Ben 10. And then you get Ultimate Alien, which is literally the same art style as Alien Force, but Ben regresses into a mentally deranged child.
Oh, so the new series.
Well, no. He's still in a grown man's body, but basically he's way more immature and he makes very stupid decisions again. Instead of being this very mature, like, grown-up Ben that we were growing up with. It's like, that's what I really disliked about Ultimate Alien and then Omniverse. It's like, well, Alien Force felt like they were growing Ben up with us. Like, I was like, oh, are we actually going to see Ben become Ben 10,000? Nope. 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 Fuck it, dude. I hate what the like seeing shows that were so great or games that were so great and just see them go to shit. I'm so tired of it, bro.
Now that's something we gotta nerd about like some other time.
Yeah, but yeah.
That sounds
man, it actually was a goat. Oh god, they were. I mean, do you remember freaking Generator Rex? Oh, that was a good one.
I don't.
That's a good one. I recommend watching if you ever get some spare time to sit down and watch an old cartoon. Generator Rex is good. Even had a crossover with Ben 10. With Alien Force. Yeah, with Alien Force had a crossover. Frickin' Ben turned into Upgrade and upgraded Generator Rex's abilities. It was badass. Here, I'm gonna send you a screenshot of the art style real quick.
Okay. Because I know what is it? I think they share the same art style as Transformers Animated.
Maybe? Let's see real quick. I'm just gonna try and find, so let's see. So this is the Ben, I'm gonna send you a picture. This is the Ben 10 and Generator Rex crossover. Like, the art style was honestly really good. Because it was Generator Rex art style, but Ben in that art style.
Oh, that's kind of cool, actually.
It was really, really cool.
What year did this come out?
Oh god, you're gonna feel like an old man once I tell you, just like how I'm gonna feel like an old man. Let's look it up. It came out 2011.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
12 years ago!
Oh. Yeah, no, I feel fucking old.
I feel so old when I think that Halo was released in 2001.
I was a small wee little T-Rex when that came out.
I was 2 years old.
I was a small wee little Rex when Halo came out, and it was actually one of the first games I ever played on an Xbox.
It was one of my first games I ever played on Xbox too, because I saw my uncle was playing, but I think he was playing on the PC, not the Xbox. Then my dad got an Xbox, and then my dad has this whole philosophy. He does it with every video game he plays. He's like, I will only ever play a video game on its hardest difficulty. He did that with Bioshock 1 and 2. He did that with Bioshock... I think he played Bioshock Infinite too, but I don't remember. He did it for the entire Uncharted series because he loves Uncharted desperately. He did that with Halo 1 and 2. I don't know if he did it for Halo 3. Because I think he might have stopped playing around Halo 3. But that's just his whole philosophy was he would play games on the hardest difficulty.
That's kind of how I am when it comes to Halo. Like, I will mostly try to play it on Legendary.
I've been doing that lately. I've beaten Halo 1, 2, 3, ODST, and Reach on Legendary, solo, and then I beat Halo 4 on Legendary oh god, I want to say back when I was in middle school. God. Went out with a friend because we played it multiplayer and beat it on Legendary. God, that fucking game was a nightmare. Fuck Halo 4, dude. The frickin' Prometheans are a bitch on Legendary.
Oh my god, they are. Like, fucking tanky as damn.
Tanky, and the fucking fact they can teleport behind you whenever they want.
Oh, fucking neck's all crunchy.
Ugh. But yeah, anyways, guys, I think this is a good place to leave off. I'm losing my voice. This has been fun, though, Grarrl. Thank you. I had a blast.
I had an absolute blast. Sorry, I'm just like running on fumes.
Same. But thank you, everyone, so much for watching. This has been a blast. Look, by the way, tomorrow I'm streaming Hollow Knight. Look forward to that.
That's gonna be fun.
That is, I hope so, because I have not played a 2D platformer in a little while.
I need to play Shovel Knight sometime.
Oh, sorry, man. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I've heard that Hollow Knight's quite hard.
That's what I hear.
But thanks for the great enjoyable stream. Thank you very much, everyone who tuned in. Ranma, Freeman, all you guys. Oh, but yeah.
You guys have a great night.
Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.